Okay. All right. Would you like to get sat, Gaz?
I've got an MBA. Anything you need, boss.
I'm fired. Nah, mate, your fucking sister's fired, mate. You always do that. I don't remember the... I don't remember this doing that. Me and Rebecca used to spend ages talking on GTA, and we used to run across all the notes, and they never made noise. They didn't do this. What the hell? That's so weird. That's so weird. I've never seen that before. You must have added that ages ago. I'm not sure about that. Don't worry about it, little man. Little men aren't needed for this.
So, we going to have a good week, boss? Oh, hi. What can I do for you? Anything to keep you productive, boss.
Alright, let's quickly do some of the... Ah! The Cemetery, C. Bandito, and... the HSW Pacific Bluffs. Let's get those done. I've not done these in a little while, so why not? Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare crash. Still feels weird playing this game. Ooh. Combined business charges for 15 grand. I'm looking forward to seeing what other fucking charges are introduced in the next update. Alright. I don't know why, but the RC Bandito sounds really quiet. Like the sounds of the checkpoint is really loud. The RC Bandito really quiet. Doing actually quite alright. What do you mean, guys? I mean, it's not really realistic, so I don't know about that, guys. There's one thing I need to get today, and that is that jet. I need to sell a vehicle first, though. Oh, I don't know which one to sell. I love all my vehicles. I love all my planes. I don't want to sell any of them, but I really want that new jet. Well, it's not really new anymore, but... And it's on sale, so I need to get it. $3 million. As if I couldn't afford it anyway, but... It's not about the money, it's about the principle of the thing. I don't want to pay $5 million for it. Alright. That's fine, that's easy enough. Although I always take the hard way. Ooh. Had to slow down a bit. Come on. Ah. Fuck you, bike. Fuck you, Hakuchu shit drag. The Hakuchu drag. Bike. Yeah, I like the Hakuchu drag. It's just, it's a fucking pain in the ass because you can't wheelie on it. I really wish there was the Barty had a HSW version because I'd use that more. Well, I mean, it probably wouldn't be better, but it would be more usable off-road. Well, if it was HSW, probably not. It'll probably be very expensive. No, we'll go this way. We'll stay on the road. Oh boy. Minute and a half left. We're a little bit behind, but I think we can still beat this. This is certainly a way of doing it. I wish a horn button was on the analog stick, because the amount of damage you probably do to your analog sticks every time you do the horn. I wouldn't mind so much if Sony used better analog sticks, but cheap bastards, of course they're not going to. What is that? The fuck is this? That frame rate on that flag is dreadful. That is shocking. Oh yes, these flares. Nah, they want me. Nah, I'm not going over there. They can fuck off. They think I'm gonna go all the way over there. Fuck you.
Shit. This is what happened.
Defend your business? Ah, you scumbag, Lester. Lester, why won't you hire better security? One random guy sitting on a chair with no weapon, no visible weapon, is not a good security guard. Alright? Why didn't you hire a proper team? Like, oh my days, man. The worst thing is I'm riding up on a bike, so I've got no cover. And there's not really any buildings around here. Let's get the helicopter before we engage with the police. Oh no, now they know I'm here. I just looked at them with the sniper and they know I'm here. I love this game. I love this game. You just look at someone with a sniper rifle and they know. Yeah, blind fire with a pistol and hit me multiple times. Yeah, okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. Whatever makes you feel better, Rockstar. Your ridiculously OP enemies that do not make sense in the slightest. And of course, we've got to go after the van. I love these missions, you know. Another reason why MC is so shit. Why would anyone do MC by choice? You could quadruple MC and I still would never do it. It's the only reason I have this is because I keep robbing those buildings because I need to do it for a challenge. But as soon as I'm done with that, are you gonna get out or no? Okay, you are out. Only one of you. All right. Fair enough. Can I call Lester on this? I can't remember. I'm assuming so.
Hey,
Yeah.
one of my skills is required.
He has to like switch between his personas when I'm calling him up. He's like, 1 minute he's calling me about me getting robbed. Next minute I'm calling him saying, yeah, can you get the cops off me, please? Bro must be dealing with multiple things. He's having to like switch back and forth with his voice changer. Fuck you, Lester. Hire some better security. Fuck the cops too. How much do I even have in here? Do I dare sell MC on my own? Oh man. Do I dare? Do I dare do this? I kind of feel like it though. I feel like suffering tonight. Yeah, go on then, fuck it. Let's see, let's just sell it. Screw. You know, what's the worst case scenario, right? I get 4 what are they called? Oh no, yeah, the four bastard ones, you know, the little vans. I can't remember the name. Post-op, that's the one. But you're fucking useless, bro. You just stand here looking like a dickhead, don't you? Why aren't you stopping the police? You've got no gun. You got nothing, bro. You look like a security... You look at a security guard at a store, bro. What the fuck are you doing? You don't even have proper uniform. You're wearing a black shirt, a black jacket, and black shoes and black trousers, bro. You're not even dressed like a security guard. And you got sunglasses as well, like... Nah, bro, come on. You're some dead security guard, bro. Fuck it, let's do it. Worst case scenario, we get fucked. Worst case scenario, we get absolutely fucked up. With a post-op. If it's I'm gonna... Nah, it's not gonna be post-op. They're not gonna do me like that. Ah, helicopters. I could do 3 helicopters in 30 minutes. Fuck you, then. I can do 30, I can do 3 helicopters in 30 minutes. Just as long as it's not post-op. I hate doing MC, though. I can't lie. Legit, the only reason I do it is just because I have to at the moment. But once I'm done having to do those stupid drug labs and stuff, I'm never doing them again. It's nice when you get gun supplies, like gun running supplies or gun running product. That's great. I love that. I'll happily sell gun running all day long, but... MC? Come on, man. Why does this game hate me so much? Ah, hello there. Oh, they're lovely. The plane spawned in. Beautiful. Where's all the positions? Ooh, that's not so bad, actually. That's an easy one. I'm hoping GTA 6 doesn't have the same design where there's one city and then you just fly back and forth. I know we have Port Gellhorn. We don't know how big that is yet. Well, fully. But let's say, for example, there's no second major city, which I'm really hoping there's a second major city. I'm really holding out for that. Like, if there isn't a second major city in GTA 6, I'm pissed. But let's say there is a second major city. Let's say there's a I don't know, what would it be? What would the city be? It'd be some northern Florida city, probably. It'll be okay, but if there's just one major city, man, I don't want to go back to one major city, bro. We've already had one major city in a game for ages, man. We need 2 cities, come on. We need there to be inner-city trade. There needs to be a reason to be selling between cities. Because everything in this game is just go to Los Santos, go to Los Santos, go to Los Santos. We need to have a proper in-depth map. You like that song, Gaz? You're gonna fight the law, and I bet the law's gonna win. I love that you sing along with it. Never change, Gaz. Why are you saying ha? Puh. Come back to me when you learn what pitch is. Alright, one helicopter out of the way. This brings back many painful memories of sale after sale after sale back in the MC days. And I absolutely hated it. It was a great way to make a lot of money, It really did. It really did boost a lot of my money up. Like, businesses, they really, really helped. But I'll tell you what, gun running came out. Oh, no, I hated MCR for that. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stick to gun running. And that's how I made 600 million of my 1.2 billion, well, I guess 2.2 billion total at the moment. Income. But I'll tell you what, businesses suck because, yeah, you can do them on your own, but they suck on your own. But they suck when you do it with other people because they don't get any reward for it. They try to fix that with Red Dead, where if you sell, you get like half. Like, it just creates like a free 50% that goes to everyone. So it rewards the person who did all the, you know, who selling it. It doesn't cost them anything extra. But it still, it basically benefits. There's literally no benefit not. There's no benefit not doing a sale with your friends or with other people on Red Dead. Whereas in this game, selling with your friends sucks because the friends get nothing. Well, they get like 20 grand or like up to 60 if they do MC, but that's about it. I mean, it's useless. Alright, that's the first chop out of the way. Next one. What's this one saying? Is this a nice looking one? Ooh. Ooh, I don't like that one. That was a horrible one. That's one of those ones that's a long one. You gotta go all the way to the bottom and then to the western side of the city. Man, I'm telling you what though. I can't wait to see how big Vice City is. Like, fully. I know from what it looks like it might be bigger than Los Santos, but I mean, it probably will be. But I want to see how big. I want to see if it's Los Santos plus how much. You know, is it 2 Los Santoses? Is it 1.5? Is it 3? I want to know. But also, there's many things that make a city big, not just this overall size of it. Like, this city feels not that big because the roads are huge. I remember when the comparisons with GTA 4 came out, back when we first found out the map size, and people were comparing road sizes in GTA 4 and 5 to kind of come up to like a scale to design, you know, to see how big the maps are. And like GTA 4, I can't remember if Liberty City is bigger or smaller than Los Santos, but I'll tell you what, it feels bigger than Los Santos because not, you know, like Los Santos, every road is a full 4-lane road, and it just makes everything feel like half the city, I swear, is just road. And it's a really ugly river. God, that, man, you know what? The Los Angeles River looks so shit. Who just concretes over all the river, man, like that? Like, come on, man. Yeah, like this road here is a perfect example. Look how big it is. It's a 4-lane road plus with a huge divider in the center. I mean, it's so huge. Wastes so much space. No, think about it now. It probably would have made more sense to go for the one on the right first, and then go for this one, and then the one on the top. But that's fine. We have plenty of time. We don't need to optimize. That's one thing I'll say about the gun running is I don't like is the gun running is really bad for the times. The fact they give you 15 minutes for some of the jobs is just criminal. Oh. Nah, to think I used to do this, like, nah, man, bro, nah, like, to think I used to do this every day, day in, day out. Back when these first came out, we'd come online 6 o'clock in the evening. Then we would just play this, and we would just sell, we would all sell each other's MCs. So we'd have 5 MCs. At first, everyone had 5 MCs. So you'd, you know, we would go through each person's MC. So it would mean that you'd do 15 MCs by the end of the night. Because it was me, Cave, and Rebecca. We'd do 5 MCs each. 15 MCs in a night, every night, selling that. Nah, I can't. I don't know how I used to do this. And then I started reducing the MCs. I'd stop bothering with 2 of them. Still though. Ugh. Absolutely no. Thank you. Drew the Gamer, thank you for the follow. Hey Kaylin, what's up? You have a job outside of YouTube? Yes, YouTube is not my job. I would not be able to afford to live if I lived off YouTube or Twitch. But I don't make any money from YouTube or Twitch, so that's exactly it, because I don't monetize my shit. So no, I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be able to afford to live if I just, you know, if I relied on Twitch or YouTube. Yeah, it's going alright, thank you. I mean, I'm just chilling, really, you know, just doing usual GTA stuff. Usual GTA maintenance. Getting things ticked off my list. Oh, geez, this is a terrible... Oh, this is like one of the worst ones. Look at that. Look at that space between each of the points. I didn't mean to do this. I didn't intend to do motorcycle club selling. I got raided and I was like, you know what, I probably should get rid of it. And yeah, here I am. You only have 350 followers on YouTube, you can't even be monetized. No, yeah, you need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube to be monetized, yeah. But even if I was at that level, I wouldn't choose to be monetized. Like on Twitch, technically on Twitch, I could have monetized myself 5 years ago, actually. No, 5 years ago. I technically hit the limit on Twitch, the requirement on Twitch very quickly. Within a month, but I don't want to be monetized, so no. You just got back to GTA a couple days ago. Welcome back to the good old world of GTA. Welcome back to suffering. When was the last time you played GTA before then? that one next. Three months ago. Fair, it wasn't that long ago then. What made you decide to stop playing for a bit? Just a bit bored or something? Yeah, GTA 4 is really good. GTA 4 is a classic. Pain. I hope that in GTA 6, when Rockstar inevitably brings back businesses, I hope they make them a lot more thrilling. Because flying around and dropping packages, it's not my idea of thrilling. It made sense in, say, GTA, you know, in the old GTAs, like Vice City, you have missions like that, dropping posters and stuff off, but, like, it makes sense as an occasional side mission, not so much as a main, repetitive mission, though. The GTA 6 hype got you back, and also we wanted to do RP on console. Fair. Yeah, GTA 6, I think, is probably going to bring a lot of people back. I think a lot of people will be hyped when the GTA 6 trailer drops next month. Yay! All my days, 525. Yeah, guys, next month. Yep. Maybe they can do a GTA in Canada or Alaska. I mean, I imagine they'll do a new GTA somewhere else, but I can't imagine it'll probably go that far. They'll want to probably base it somewhere in a city that has lots of history and it's quite built up, so... My best bet is probably somewhere like Chicago in future. That's if they don't just end up wanting to redo the old GTA maps again like they have been for the last 20 years. Where the fuck am I gonna go? Oh, I need to do that. I don't know whether Rockstar would ever do something outside of America again, because a lot of the GTA humor is very based in American. It's very American humor, and it's a lot of GTA has always been about taking the piss out of Americans. You know, I mean, the modern GTA, you know, the whole modern GTA feel was designed and by a bunch of people in Scotland taking the piss out of Americans. So I don't know whether they would really make sense going back to London, because I don't think they could take the piss out of them the same way, and I don't think it would really... I think American culture is something that everyone in the world understands and knows of, but I don't know whether London, like British culture, especially the culture in London, which is often quite different from British culture in general, would really take on an international audience. Oh shit, gun that is.
You piece of shit! I'd keep on walking if I was you. Come on, then! Suck my dick! You got a man?
All right. Forty-four, 23, 37, 44, 23, 37, 44. 44, 23, 37, 44, 23, 37. 23, 37. Yep. Easy enough. There we go. Easy, out of the way. One day I won't have to do those anymore. I'm getting fed up with them replace... Oh, really? You're gonna take my helicopter from me? Ah, that sucks. Ah, that's some bullshit, Rockstar. You're gonna spawn it all the way down there? I don't want to go through the front doors. I'm gonna get absolutely mowed down. Oh, that's so annoying. Oof. Oh no, they're coming. Oh lord, they're coming. Oh, they're really coming in quick, aren't they? Bloody hell, how fast are they? Alright, that's that done. I hate doing them because I don't like how they refill my acid. Oh, that's actually not bad. Acid suppliers, I'll take that one. I just don't like how they refill my MC. Because I don't really want them refilling my MC. But I gotta do 50 and I've done 37. 37 of those, and I've done 27 of G's caches. I need to return stolen money to a shop 5 times. I've never seen that one. I gotta do... Oh, I gotta do taxi work, don't I? Probably should have done that when it was on money. When it was on, what was it? Quintuple? For an award. Yeah. I'll do that another day, though. I'm gonna do random heists in a minute. I'm just trying to get everything out of the way first. I got kind of sidetracked, you know, as you do on GTA, right? That's what makes GTA so much fun, is getting sidetracked every 5 minutes. That's why most people probably make very little money on GTA. Because they're probably too busy getting sidetracked all the time. I'm not gonna lie, these trousers don't look good when they're wet. When they're dry, they look amazing. When they're wet, they look a bit leathery, actually. Not sure about that. That's a bit of a weird look. It's not in here. Over here, maybe? Yeah, I can hear it. Alright, guys. Probably Thursday. Speak to you then. Oh, sorry, mate. Friday. Yeah. Yeah, speak to you then. Bye. I like how the game freezes you in place when you first get the package. Alright, well, I've done what I needed to do for now, so let's get into some of these heists. I'm gonna alternate. I'm gonna alternate between normal and Doomsday tonight, I think, because I don't really fancy doing too many Doomsdays. I like Doomsdays, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Alright, so we got plane. Alright, that's fine. We've got a plane with a level 27. 27, a 350, and as of right now, no one. So this is probably his first proper heist. Obviously, Fleecer is the first heist, but I don't really consider Fleecer a full heist, because it's more like a tutorial, isn't it? You know, it's not really something that most people do more than once. Although if you're Gaz, Gaz used to grind Fleecer because he could never do the actual heist. So he would grind Fleecer out. That was his that was his idea. That was his method. Oh my god, a level 5. Nah, a level 5, yeah? A level 5. Man, there was a time when you couldn't even do heists as a level 5. Did he get kicked or? He left. The heist leader left. He's fed up of waiting. That's sad, man. People have no patience in this game. I was kind of looking forward to that. I like doing Plane. Plane's a fun one. I like all the OG heists. Even, you know what? Even Fleecer. I just don't like doing Fleecer as a helper because most of the time you get stuck. The person inside, the person who goes in the bank, if they don't know how to use a drill, it's awful. It's one of the worst feelings ever because they will just get stuck. And you'll be stuck in the bank, just wait, or outside the bank in the car waiting. Well, I suppose you'll be in the bank as well. You'll be standing there with the RPG out, keeping the crowd under control. But they put you as the person who goes in the bank, then you got to rely on them finishing the hack, and that's not easy. Alright, Pacific Standard, yeah? What one is it going to be in Pacific Standard? I like Pacific Standard. I like all the heists in Pacific Standard, actually, all the setups. The GTA Online community has smashed the 100 billion goal in Doomsday Scenario Challenge with 500 billion so far. Damn, people really have been doing work, you know. Rockstar's got such a dedicated community, man. Rockstar should treat the community better. They got such a dedicated community of people that love helping them. Like, I love playing stuff, so. Yeah, I don't know. It's sad that Rockstar doesn't treat us very well. For all the work people put in. They'll probably do like Chicago or Columbus, Ohio. Chicago I could see, because Chicago is a well-known city in the world. It would have to be a city that's really well-known to people outside of America. Chicago is definitely a city that people know about. Whereas I don't think many people probably even heard of Columbus, Ohio, like outside of America. I could probably ask the vast majority of my friends, and I bet none of them would even know that there was a Columbus in Ohio. A lot of them probably don't even know where Ohio is.
Here it is. Keep it simple. You go in heavy, you go in well armed. Some of you will do crowd control. The vault team will go downstairs, blow the first vault door with the thermal charges, then use the card to get into the network and open the second vault door. And then look out, because you'll have about 2 minutes before every cop in town is waiting for you outside the bank. So you move fast. You get on the bikes, you split, and then we meet at the rendezvous.
Yeah, I mean, a million's not that much of a population when you compare the sizes to the other cities.
All good. I'm all good.
It needs to be a city that is cultural, that has a lot of culture. That is well known. This must be his first time doing it. Why is he giving me 25%? Bro, why are you giving me 25? What have I done to deserve? I've literally just joined. Why is bro giving me 25? Oh, he left. Ah, come on. I was really hyped for that. I love doing Pacific Standard. Man, what's with all these players? They just leave. They just leave all the time. Players suck, man. Maybe it was the other guy. Maybe it was the 400 who left because he was like, I'm only going to get 15%. Or the other guy gave up and he couldn't figure it out. Ah, Prison Break. Oh, you know what? I'll take a Prison Break. Is this the finale? Is this the finale? Nah. Yo, is this the finale, yeah? Oh my days. You know what? This could be fun. This could be fun. Like, probably Chicago or Florida. I don't know whether they do Florida for GTA 7, considering they're doing Florida in GTA 6, yeah. So, it'll probably... I mean, it depends if they want to redo the cities they've already done again. I mean, traditionally, Rockstar just redoes the same 3 cities, so they probably do the same thing again with the next GTAs. But if they decide to do something different, it will probably be Chicago or Washington, D.C., something like that. Something that's cultural.
Anyway, now I'm told they put a price on the professor's head, so we gotta move.
I mean, they could redo San Fierro again, San Francisco. They could redo Las Venturas.
Not me. Not me at all. So keep them alive. Based on this inmate transfer schedule, Bolingbroke are expecting a new arrival.
They could do Boston. Boston's an interesting place.
It doesn't get there.
That would be quite different from the
Taking
traditional
our prison
GTA
bus and
maps.
making your way into the facility in its place.
Because Boston's road system is much more
Stay in
European.
character as long as it's useful, then make your way to the rooftops. I'll get on the radio and give you a path to the prof. Meanwhile, the pilot will have picked up the plane and be waiting on the evac in the air. Whoever stole the bus will
Oh, this is his first time, and he's a level...
and torching it somewhere discreet. After that, it's just a matter
level
of
is
getting
he?
the guy out of the clink and getting him onto the plane.
You're
Everyone
Joe.
finds out
What you
except
saying,
the
bro?
bus thief. Professor Reshkovsky takes control of the plane.
Joe, you figured out what you're doing for Steam yet?
Jump. The professor's out of U.S. airspace and reunited with his precious car. Simple. Should be the
Level 8 is... Wait, is
easiest
this gonna... Is the guy 16, yeah? My eyes are so bad. 16, I think. Nah, we're gonna go in with a level 16 and... Oh, in Prison Break. Yeah. Come on, 16, yeah? We've got a 16 and a 27 and a 178 in Prison Break. Oh my god, this is gonna be horrific. I love this. This is gonna be amazing. Oh my god. And for once, I've not been put as the bloody pilot. Every time I do this heist, I get put as pilot because pilot... Everyone seems to put the highest level as the pilot. So I'm almost always pilot. For once, I'm not pilot. I'm a prison officer. Yes! I'm finally going to be doing something other than piloting. Oh my days, this is great. This is amazing. This is the best day of like the year for me. Oh my god. I get to be a fucking prison officer finally. I've not been prison officer in bloody years. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Oh, bro's coming with me already? Nah, this guy knows what to do, yeah? 16, bro, 16! Out the way! Oh, I'm hyped, man. I'm fucking hyped. Well, I mean, like I said, it really is going to be down to two things. It's either whether Rockstar feels like doing... I mean, Rockstar might redo some of the older maps again, just so that they can make them, you know, a similar scale to GTA 6. The problem with GTA 4's Liberty City, although it's a very good Liberty City, is that it's very small compared to, you know, GTA 5 and especially GTA 6, and so it depends on whether they wish to redo it so that it's more lifelike in sense that it's actually connected to the, you know, to actual land, not just kind of a massive island in the middle of nowhere. It just depends on what they decide on that, whether they decide that they can retcon the GTA 4 one or if they want to redo it to make it more scalable to kind of fit with GTA 6. I mean, honestly, I don't know yet. I wouldn't better say. I really wouldn't better say on what their plans are. I mean, finally, with GTA 6 coming out, all three of their traditional cities are going to be in HD now, in the HD universe. GTA 4, Liberty City, GTA 5, which was San Andreas, Los Santos, although the traditional San Andreas map for GTA is actually San Fierro, but, you know, close enough. And Vice City, which is the Holy Trinity. It's complete. So whether they wish to start it again and go for a new universe, the 4K universe, or if they wish to just continue with the current maps and then put them all together one day in the future with other maps, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to. I really wouldn't know at this point. But it could be either way. It really is a mystery at this point, and with the way the GTA's developed, it could be another decade or two before we even see it. So who knows? Who knows? The people in charge of them may not want to do what the people in charge today want to do. Oh yeah, I heard. I've heard about Stanley Parable. Yeah, I remember that game, Joe. I remember they had an achievement where you couldn't load the game up for like 10 years, and a load of people cheated it by just changing the clock on their computer. But then, like, now it's actually been 10 years since the original version, so you could actually load it up and get that achievement legit. It's pretty cool. Out of the way. Yeah, they could do something like that, but it would have to be something small. I don't imagine Rockstar would put like a lot of effort into a small side map. Yeah, 10 years. Can you believe 10 years, man? 10 years goes by so quick now. You know, someone said this to me, and it made me think. The main demographic of video games now isn't me. You know, like, I've always, you know, in my head, I'm still the main demographic of video games, but then I remember, now I realize, yeah, the main demographic of video games is, you know, young teenagers. I'm not a young teenager anymore. I'm nowhere close to a young teenager anymore. And so that's why COD and games like COD are so shit now. Is because they're, you know, they're being designed for people that don't know any better. Not, you know, people my age. Sucks. Let me in!
Just one, huh? I thought the drug laws were keeping us full. Come on.
Alright, we're in. Not designed for people that actually experience playing games are actually good. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? I remember when CODs were actually fun. I remember when games were actually fun, especially Battlefield games. Battlefield games are so shit now. There you go, we'll use that. I won't bother with the Kuruma method. I have done the Kuruma method with randoms before, but I'm not going to bother with it today. No point. Why can't you go to North Yankton once you complete the game? I mean, to be fair, there's nothing really in North Yankton. It's just a small little town. There's nothing really there to do. Ah, I love this machine gun, man. The Mark II machine guns makes this game so easy, especially these old heists. Like, look how so OP this thing is. Especially in first person where there's no recoil. Like, there's literally no recoil in first person. I love it. Bro, I love this gun so much. The best gun they ever added in a game. 10 out of 10. Had some kid the other day telling me that Cold War... Oh, really? Someone said the Cold War is the best COD game? Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Anyone who says Cold War is the best COD game, nah, they need to rethink their life.
Let's go.
This guy kind of reminds me of Gaz's old character before he made a... updated it. Where's that guy? Oh, he's hiding over there, is he? Oh, there he is. Ooh. Yeah, you don't really need Kuruma method if you are, if you have the machine gun Mark II. Honestly, it makes this heist way easier. The last time I did this heist, it was way harder purely for the fact that you had to use... You didn't have any gun that was this OP. No, like, you don't even have to aim that much. You just lock on insta-kill. Insta-kill. Beautiful. Ah. Amazing. The only thing about this heist is you just get hit randomly from nowhere by random bullets sometimes. The only thing I don't like about this heist. You thought you needed mods to go to the prison? No, you can just go into the prison. You literally just walk into the prison. It's all open. You get a wanted level on free roam, but you can go in there. hate how long the health regen is, and I hate using snacks, so... Alright, we're good, we're good. Thankfully the plane seems to be okay. He hasn't fucked up yet, so that's good. I mean, it's a level 100 something, so he shouldn't be fucking up. Alright.
You're going out the way you came in. Let's go.
I think we're good. Now I'm just waiting for the other player. Unfortunately, the problem with Rashkovsky, sometimes he gets stuck, and then you need a player to go get him to get out. Obviously, if you're trying to do it speed run, it can be really annoying. Alright, we're good. Go on, Rashkovsky, get in. You stupid bastard. There we go. Alright, we're good. We're out. We've got our Rashkovsky, baby! Now we just have to wait to see where the pilot lands. I wish there was a way to put down a waypoint that everyone could see in the game. I'm assuming he's gonna land at the airport. But I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm hoping he lands at the fucking airport. I mean, I don't mind landing on roads and stuff and on the rough ground. It's just, you know, risky. And I don't know. I don't know whether I trust a lower level player to do that. But, I mean, you know, he seems to be landing at the airport, so it's fine. We just gotta wait for him to turn the fuck around. Alright, he's landed, he's turning, good, good, good. I would personally prefer, oh you bastard. I'd personally prefer to land a little bit further up so that you can take either route, you can take either runway, but I mean, this is fine. Alright, we're in. Go on, bro. Go on, bro. All right, good, 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 good. Yes, good man, good man, good man. Now get speed, get speed. Yeah, he's good, he's good, he's good. The worst thing is when people try to pull up early, and like because they want to take off, so they pull up early, thinking it's gonna get them into the air. But the problem is they don't get into the air. They got no speed. They stall, and then the cops hit them. So I like it when they go forward, get enough speed, then go into the air. That is way, 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 way smarter. Way, way smarter. Good shit to them. Good shit to them. Level 178. And he's proven himself. He's proven that he knows what he's up to. Excellent. Good shit. It's not out of the, we're not out of the woods yet, you know, we're not in our comfort zone. We still have the low level has to parachute and land it, and also the helicopter pilot, who's a 27, has to not blow up the helicopter when he lands it. Or fly into the person parachuting. But, you know what? I'm feeling confident. In story mode, you need a mod to actually be arrested. Yeah. I mean, sure, I suppose. I mean, I suppose you do. Alright, now we just wait. Helicopters are a pain in the arse, they keep spawning behind us. Yeah, it's a good player. 178, good player. To be fair, the level 16 who stayed in the prison with me, you know, he was doing well. He didn't go too far ahead. He stayed behind and, you know, did his job. Yeah, love that. I'm quite impressed with this guy, actually. For level 16, I'm quite impressed. I like when players are like this, you know, they're new, then they're not like they're a little bit newer, so they don't just go out and do stupid shit. You know, they stay. They know their limits. They stay back. They do what they can, but they don't. They don't do any. They don't do nothing at the same time. Like they try, but they don't like go too far and get fucked up. So good for this guy. Good for this guy.
I should say, I've been impressed by your professionalism. Now, I'm not going to go into it, but Rashkovsky's part of something bigger.
I love parachute in this game.
I need to make a few more inquiries, and we'll be ready to go on a job that requires
Oh.
particular skill set. Don't retire on me.
I'm a little bit out of sorts with the timings, but that was alright. That was good. That was a bit of a oh, he died. The level 16 didn't know how to parachute. But I knew it. I was like, he's probably never parachuted before. I don't know why they let us do a heist like this without teaching you how to parachute. Like, you would think that like parachute training would be like a requirement to do this heist. I guess because no, you know what? Rockstar should have made it so that you couldn't do this heist until you've done at least a parachuting segment on the flight school. It should say, before you can do this mission, it should say, look, you need to go to flight school before you can do this mission. Because I'll tell you what, too many people... Oh, he died trying to get to us as well. He fell off the bloody... He not only died falling, he also jumped off a cliff. He jumped off the cliff. Instead of walking around or swimming around, he jumped off the cliff and died. Oh my god. Yeah, I suppose they did expect everyone to have played the story. I suppose when the heist first came out, the story mode was still, you know, it was still quite recent to the story. Oh my god, look at this checkpoint. I forgot how bad the checkpoint is on this heist. We have to go through the whole prison again, by the way. I forgot how shitty the checkpointing is on this heist. Really, the checkpoint should be from after you leave the prison. And it would be in a later heist. We have to do the whole heist again because bro doesn't know how to use the parachute and then didn't swim around. Well, this is what we get. This is what we get for doing random heists, especially with a level 16, you know? Yeah, this is why this heist is so difficult for new players, because it very much relies on teamwork. Everyone has their own role. The only roles that kind of cross over are the people in the prison. Prison officer and prisoner both have very similar roles, but that's about it. It's very team orientated, and it's also the first heist or real mission really that requires you to use a parachute. So a lot of people die on the parachute, and so you gotta go all the way back through this. And because of the checkpoint being so shit, if the checkpoint was after the prison, it wouldn't be so bad. Like, the later heists have way better checkpointing. All the newer heists have great checkpointing if you think about it, but this one, no. Also, where's this guy going? Excuse me. It's a bit concerning. So yeah, we gotta go through. Yeah, Doomsday Avenger is pretty fucking hard, I'm not gonna lie, for most people. Because people don't want to take their time.
Okay, get to it. As long as they think you're an inmate and a guard, they shouldn't raise the alarm. I said shouldn't.
The prison is the begging, right? Well, beginning. The prison is the first main heist. So it's very early on in people's careers. Oh shit, where did you come from? Fucking hell, that guy almost killed me. He took all my health. Deliverance Surgeon is #1 because people can't read. I mean, yeah. I still hold. I'm still gonna say Prison Break finale is gonna be ridiculously high fails purely because people fall to their deaths at the beach. I've done so many Prison Break finales where people have died on the beach because they don't know how to parachute. Like, the amount of people that just do not know how to parachute in this game is insane. You would think in a game like Grand Theft Auto you would know how to parachute, but like, that's because I grew up playing. Like, I played San Andreas. San Andreas had parachutes. I played Ballet Tony. Ballet Tony had parachutes. But a lot of people, this is their first GTA game, and they've never done story. So this is like, parachutes is not something they've ever come across before, so...
I thought they were sending professionals. I collaborated.
Your brother's got you to play with him and his mates just so you can lead them on how to do the mission. I mean, hey, you know, it's fair. You got to utilize your brothers.
Let's go.
You wonder what GTA 6 online will be like? Probably a lot like this online, to be honest with you. It's a winning formula. They'll probably change things up, you know, but a lot of this is a very winning formula of an online, so... Like, when people say that they think roleplay will become a big thing in GTA 6, I don't think so. I don't think Rockstar's gonna just switch up the entire game to make it, like, roleplay. There'll definitely be more roleplay elements. I definitely think GTA 6 will be more of a MMORPG versus just an MMO, but I don't see them going and putting, you know, hardcore roleplay in, you know, like something that you'd see on 5M. It'll be very much like, you know, you can level up, you know, your characters in different roles and stuff, like that kind of thing, and like, you know, like a light roleplay, but not like a proper roleplay where you go around having jobs and shit. Like, there'll probably be more jobs to do, but like, you won't be working in a fast food restaurant type thing, you know? Bro, I love when they just spawn out of nowhere. Yeah, people do that in GTA 5, but like, I don't see Rockstar making that an actual part of the game, the core gameplay. I mean, that's very much something people set up by themselves. Oh no, he died. He died, that's not good. Come on. I don't really want to risk my health on this. Oh, I fucking hate the sniper in this sometimes. Is that height? You can't just lower the sniper like an inch. Oh god, the image sucked up all my health.
You're going out the way you came in. Let's go.
Hey, how quick you lose your health in this game. That's something that they need to work on in GTA 6 is health balancing. Red Dead did a way better balance. Red Dead Online had really good health. And I'm hoping GTA 6 will go along the same direction. More health versus less health. Really? You're gonna pop my tire already? We've only just started it out. I'm really pissed off, man. We literally just started, bro. Like, how can you already pop the tire? Come on. To be fair, GTA 4 to GTA 5 was a big gap. It still is. You can tell instantly, even if you go back to the PS3 version of GTA 5, the difference in facial models was huge. And then same thing when you play GTA 4 on PC and you play GTA 5 on PC, the difference is huge. It's mostly in the models. It's the modeling. It's just how high res everything is in comparison, and how highly detailed, how many polygons there are on each model. Go on. Fuck's sake. Come on, Raskowski, get in. Oh, Raskowski can go in the back? Bro, how? Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is why you should land further back on the runway. If you land this far up on the runway, you can't you can't change runway last second. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it as soon as... The problem is, when you land on the runway there, you're basically committed. You're basically stuck. If you have to take off, you can't take off until like... You have to make sure there's no police cars, right? But the thing is, if you're taking off there, if the police cars block your way, there's no way around it. You can't just turn off the runway that easily because the middle bit has got rocks and shit in the way. So the best thing to do is land on the runway nearer to the start of the runway, and then that way you can go left or right with the when the cops are coming, and that usually makes it a lot harder for the to be blocked off. But of course, people don't know that. GTA 4, if they were going to do a remaster, it would just be very much like Red Dead, I imagine. I can't imagine them doing a remake. They would just simply upscale it to... Well, they would render it 4K, probably. That would be a huge improvement. But if they were going to remake it, it would look a lot better. If they were going to remake it, go in, you know, full-on remake, they could remake the face models. That would be a huge improvement on GTA 4's the face models. Redo the lighting engine. Putting, say, Red Dead Redemption 2's lighting engine into GTA 4 would be a huge improvement, you know? That's the biggest improvements in these games each gen, is the lighting. If you look at Red Dead Redemption 2 and then you look at GTA 5, the lighting is very big difference. And that's why Red Dead Redemption 2 on a PS4 looks better than GTA 5 on a PS5. It's the lighting. It's absolutely top tier. Rockstar did a great job with their lighting. Now, don't get me wrong, I would like to have a remaster. I don't need a remake of GTA 4. I'd be happy with a remaster like I did was with Red Dead, but if they were going to do a proper remake, it would look so different. Lighting is the biggest thing they could do. And you know what? GTA 4 would also benefit hugely from ray tracing. There's a lot of buildings in GTA 4, lots of large tall glass skyscrapers, and ray tracing would also look very good on that. So those two things I think would really make GTA 4 pop, but it's a lot of work, and I don't think they would ever bother. So yeah, but a standard remaster would still look great. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 1 proves that. Red Dead Redemption 1 was gorgeous, and that was just what? That was on PS5, 4K, 60 FPS. And that was gorgeous, so... But no, that's the thing. That's the biggest difference between these games is lighting. Lighting can make or break a game. Like, completely. Good lighting can change a game's experience and atmosphere. I'm gonna do this in third person. First person's way better. That's why there's no way Liberty City's in GTA 6. Why? Because there's so many buildings.
I collaborate and nearly get a ship for the pleasure. Just give me... Guys, there are some screws I hope we run into. Let's go!
Could we have given Reshkovsky a better gun, you know, like... Could we have given him an MP5 or something? Don't get too carried away there, bro. You're still only at level 16. You haven't got anywhere near your max health yet. Who said they're gonna let you enter everything in Vice City?
There's a small gap between the two buildings to your west. That's your exit out of the northern yard. We're going to incentivize this. We need Rashkovsky out of the country quickly and in good health. The better you do those things, the better you're paid.
Come on, man. Why do they... I hate when they just take a bunch of bullets and then lay back down. And then they get back up like they've not full of bullet holes. Come on.
Let's hurry it up. We got a problem. Air traffic's red flag plane. They're scrambling jets. Pilot, if they try to shoot you down, run evasive maneuvers.
Fuck you. Now, that guy just came up and flipped him over.
What is it with you people?
Remember, a scratch on Rashkovsky is a scratch off your paychecks. And the quicker you get them out, the more you're paid for it.
My days, man. Let's just turn around, you instantly get half your health mowed away. But most, you know what? I'd be surprised if Rockstar lets you go in most buildings. I would say that a lot more buildings will be available to go into, but I would highly doubt most. I'd even be surprised if they let you go in 50% of the buildings. Maybe the most iconic buildings, but you're not going to get every building. You know, you can go in every building. I mean, especially considering that they went from effectively no enterable buildings in GTA 5 other than a few shops to, you know, to go to from that to almost every building enterable would be quite a accomplishment. And I know Rockstar's great, but I mean, not miracle workers. Even every building's lobby would still be quite a huge increase. I could see it happening on the more iconic buildings, but I don't know. It's still a lot of work to do that for very little gain. There would have to be a reason for doing so. There would have to be a gameplay reason. To sacrifice all that performance, potential performance. To be fair though, it depends how they do it. Sometimes you can get away with it in a way that doesn't suck on performance. It depends how they do it. But I would still be surprised if more than 30% of the buildings were enterable.
Pilot, ground team, you need to coordinate and get Rashkovsky airborne ASAP.
Ah, fuck this, man. He's landed in the same spot again. He keeps landing it in the middle of the runway instead of using this bit here. If you land here, you get choice of 3 runways. If you land here, you get the choice of 2, or 1 actually, not even 2. There we go. Oh, come on, bro, get in, bro, get in, bro, get in! Bro, get in, come on! Don't be fighting these guys! Come on. It'd be nice if the helicopter... Oh my good fucking god. Jesus Christ. Oh, stress of that, bro. This heist, man, this heist is stressful purely for the fact that you gotta babysit everyone.
This all goes to plan. You rendezvous on the beach in the Palomino Highlands. And remember, Rashkovsky's paying you to get him out. I'm just a friendly stranger you know very little about.
Oh, but no. As for enterable buildings, the reason I say that is because Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a game that would have made a lot more sense with enterable buildings, you know, considering that it's very much a sparsely populated game, you know, in terms of the biggest settlements are what, Saint Denis, and that game had a significant lack of enterable buildings. A lot of them were just locked. Now, I mean, mind you, that is a PS4 versus a PS5, but even then, PS5s aren't, you know, they're not magic. They are still, you know, still not. They're better than PS4. Don't get me wrong, but they're still not god tier. You know, they're not like, you know, 4090s with 64 gigabytes of RAM. You know, 24 cores processor. You know, there's still there, you know, limitations on them. So that's what I'm saying with that, is that if Rockstar couldn't even get most of the buildings in Red Dead Redemption 2 open in a game that is much more sparsely populated, I don't know. I don't see it. Even with the, I don't see it. I don't see it. Not with this current gen. Not with PS5. Not with Xbox Series. Especially with the Series S. And this is the thing we have to remember, is that it's not just the Series X and the PS5 we're talking about. We have to remember that they have to make the game for the Series S as well. Microsoft really fucked over people with the Series S. They basically said, if you want to release a game on the Series X, you have to release it on the Series S as well. It has to be compatible with the Series S. You know, there is no way around that. So you have to design your game to be functional on same processor as a Series X, I suppose, but you only get, what, 10 gigabytes of RAM, and you're running on a graphics card that is weaker than what is in the Series, in the One X, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I don't know. That's a bit of a tall order. Even if Rockstar was able to push the PS5 and the Xbox Series to the X to the limit, they still got to release it on that Series S, and that's going to be a real big limitation for anyone. Even though Rockstar is, you know, they're very good. They're some of the best developers in the world. I don't know. That's still a tall order for such a weak console. So. Red Dead Redemption 2 fell off after the story. Didn't expect to sell that well, get such a big community. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 1 was a big game. I mean, it didn't sell anywhere near as many because it was a different era, but there's a lot of people out there that like that kind of gameplay, you know? There's a lot of people out there that like, they like the idea of an open world game with lots of detail, but they don't like the GTA aspect of GTA, which is, you know, modern day. You know, they don't find modern day very interesting. They love having a game set in a slower time, you know, different, like a theme to it. And that's what they like. I mean, you know, I can't hate on that. I can't complain, you know, if they like that kind of story, that kind of theme more than, you know, than the modern world, yeah. I mean, you say to many people, right? How many games companies could release a game set in an old west and sell 60 million, you know? That's Rockstar did. Rockstar. I think people like Rockstar style games, but they may not like, not everyone wants to play a GTA style game. That's why I think Rockstar could really branch out. I mean, this is why I'm sad they didn't end up making Bully 2. This is why I'm sad they didn't bother making Agent in the end. You know, there's so many potential gameplay, there's so many potential game settings they could do. And so, I mean, they could do a Mafia era game, you know, like something set in the 20s, and sell, the 1920s, sorry. And they could probably they could probably sell 40, 50 million copies of that if they wanted to. You know, they could do any era. Honestly, I think Rockstar could do any era. They're originally going to put Florida Keys in Vice City. Do you think they're going to do it in GTA 6? Yes, I think the Florida Keys will be in GTA 6. The GTA 6 will probably have I imagine it will have the Everglades. I imagine it will have the Florida Keys. I imagine it will have... I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they put some of the nearby islands, you know, like, you know, I guess nearby, you know, like the Bahamas and some of the Caribbean in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some of that's in the game. Leftovers from when it was Project Americas. Although I think their main focus with GTA 6, I think, is make the map. Whereas with GTA 5 and GTA 4 and all that, the map was primarily single player based. You know, you design the map for single player and then you just fit online into it. I think with GTA 6, a lot of the design philosophy will be based around making a map that is huge and can be expanded in DLCs, you know, and like new content being added to the map. So, because GTA 5, the issue with that game is that the amount of shit they've had to fit into the game over the years, and all the different, you know, the hangars, the bunkers, all that shit everywhere. It's such a there's a limitation of what you can fit into the game. So I imagine the philosophy on GTA 6 will be a lot more based around building a map that can be expanded for the online more than the single player. That's what I would be doing anyway. And that's what I think Rockstar's doing, purely because their main moneymaker now isn't actually single player, it's online. That's the thing that keeps printing the money. So why would you design the game based, you know, why would you design a map specifically for, you know, highly detailed for a single player game, which, you know, is kind of limited to what you get your single player game and that's it. You know, online is where they're going to keep making the money. So a lot of the game's probably going to be quite sizable purely for the fact that they want to add more to it later on. You know, and having it in Florida means they can add new things like islands around there. You know, it makes sense to me. That's what I imagine. That's how I look at it anyway. If I was Rockstar, I'd be looking at how to make the game useful for online. Single player would kind of be a secondary to that at this point. Although single player is still very big, and that's obvious. That's very evident in their leaks. Single player is still very big. Probably bigger than ever, but online is probably a little... They're probably seeing the online part of that very highly in their eyes at the side. The driving will be flawless as always. GTA 6 is going to be the biggest race game ever. You know what's funny? You're probably not wrong about that, because although GTA is not really a racing game, I mean, it's got such a big player base on its own that the racing community of one of the biggest games of all time, yes, will probably be bigger than probably the sales on a lot of the actual racing games out there. I always hear like stories of other games when they sell like 5 million copies, that's like a success for them. And then you just have GTA selling what, like 180 million copies or some shit. It's like, yeah. Even if only 1% of the player base played races, that's still bigger than a lot of these other companies. So, a lot of these other company games. So yeah. What are we doing? Heist. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they add some of the surrounding states. No, I'm not doing that. Sorry, mate, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did some of the other surrounding states and then like kind of compressed it into the game. Sort of like how they did with Red Dead Redemption 2, where there was like 5 different states and territories, all shoved into such a small area to kind of make more variation. Florida isn't known for mountains. Florida is a very flat, a very low-level part of the United States. So if they wanna kind of add mountains to the game, they're probably gonna need to compress the north a little bit to add some extra areas to kind of add mountains, or just completely ignore geography and go, fuck it, there's mountains now. I don't know. There might be. I don't know. I don't know how many, how close mountains are to North Florida. I'm not sure how much they would need to bend it to make it work. But they could. I mean, let's have a look actually. Other nearest mountains to Florida. Yeah, there's mountains of Helen in Georgia. So they could definitely shove a bit of Georgia in there, compress it in to have some mountains. So the northern part would be maybe a bit of Florida, a bit of Georgia. Yeah, that could make sense. People always get mad that you're gassing up GTA 6. People get mad for anyone. You talk shit about GTA, people get mad. You fucking gas up GTA, people get mad. Especially right now. A lot of people just hate GTA because it's the in thing. It's in vogue, isn't it? You know, everyone fucking hates GTA. You go on Twitter, everyone fucking hates GTA because how dare Rockstar, you know, do this and this and this without, you know, supporting you know, yada yada yada. People just hate. People just like to hate. So yeah, I'm not surprised people get annoyed at you if you're bigging up GTA 6.
Yep, that's me. You would not believe how many celebrities live here.
What do you mean?
They're going to focus more on the water aspect, potentially, but I think that they will put mountains in the game still because I think Rockstar's always been a fan of having variety, and that's one of the reasons why they did San Andreas again so quickly, was because San Andreas was a really good way to have variety. You got the mountains up in the north, you got like a small desert, not a very good desert, but you have a desert. You got like lots of empty areas. There were going to be big forests. We know that from the beta of GTA 5, there were going to be big forests. And then there's the city aspect. So I think there will still be mountains in GTA 6, but I think they'll be further up north. I think they will compress something into it. Same thing like why we got in Red Dead Redemption 2. They put a lot of emphasis in variety. You got the desert of New Austin. You got the what are they called? The swamps of Saint-Denis and the surrounding area. I can't remember the fucking name. Lemoyne. You got the big plains in the center. You got the mountains in the north. You got all the variety. You got the big forests in the northeast. I think Rockstar's very big on variety these days. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see mountains. Will it be like as big as GTA 5 where there's mountains galore? Probably not. But I could see them putting a couple of mountains in the north with some valleys and shit to kind of, have like a forested area with some mountains and valleys kind of representing Georgia. And then just as some variety for people, so people, so they can, and they'll probably do something like that so they can, again, for online purposes, you want to be able to sell a variety of areas so you can have a variety of online DLCs. So it makes sense that you would have something in the mountains. They could do all sorts of DLCs in the mountains. If there's some small, like, mountain towns up there, that could be quite fun. And you could have different, like, small businesses up there. That's what I think, anyway. I think that they're going to do a lot of variety in this game because they want this game to last a long time. And I just think that having some mountains adds that variety to the map instead of just having it all flat. Because that's what's the problem with GTA 6 is going to be. It's going to be just flat. A lot of it's going to be flat because that's Florida. Florida is just fucking flat. And that's fine, but I think that they'll want to have some variety, especially up north, to kind of change, to give people a reason to go areas. And so I think there will be mountains. I don't think it'll be a main focus, but I think there'll be mountains to some extent up in the north. Obviously there'll be big swamps in the south. They'll have islands, so there'll be a lot of water-based stuff. Yeah, but I think that makes sense to have some mountains in the north, just to kind of add some variety to the game. Especially because I think it would be really fun if there was some mountains with some nice rivers going through them. Especially because it would be really fun to actually build a boat all the way up from, say, like, it'd be really cool to have some mountains in the north with, like, rivers that go all the way through the map and then end up in, like, Vice City, and you could travel all the way up the river. That could be really cool. I used to love doing that shit in San Andreas. I used to love riding up the rivers. So I'm hoping that you could do something like that in GTA 6. We'll see, though. Gang areas need to be present. Yeah, there'll probably be lots of gang areas, I can imagine. I hope you're able to play GTA 6 because when you turn 18 and work a good job, probably invest some money into a decent computer because 2026 you'll turn 19. Yeah, I mean, why not? It's not that many years to go, and GTA 6 will probably come out around 2024, late 2024 or mid 2025, somewhere around there, I imagine. So it won't be that far out. So yeah, hopefully you can get one. Thankfully, when you're young, if you're still living at home, you can usually save a lot of money for things like that. That's one of the best things about being young when you're working when you're young is that you can afford shit. When you get like older and you have to move out and you've got to pay your own rent, then it sucks. But when you're young, it's great. Rebecca's going to sleep soon. I think Rebecca said that she wanted to play some GTA 5 with me and do some Doomsday Heists with me, but unfortunately that never actually ended up happening. So here we are, doing random heists. When you're young, you have more time to think about the job you want to have and think about how you're going to make decent money, a decent amount of money for bills and stuff. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. Life rarely goes the way you expect or you're hoping. So just do the best. Don't worry about it too much. Just do your best, you know. Like, keep your options open. That's probably the best piece of advice I can give anyone, is keep your options open. Fuck off, man. Who the fuck joins and leaves? Keep your options open, because I'll be honest, if you focus on one thing too much, it can be very difficult if that thing doesn't pan out. So that's why I think a lot of people say go to university, for example, or go to college, go to university, because it gives you more options. And that does, you know, I can understand that. It depends though. Sometimes something you want to do doesn't need it. You know, sometimes, you know, there's a lot of jobs in the UK, for example, in trades at the moment, and there's people I know who went into trades who are now making triple what people who went to university made. There's people I know who went to university and are now on minimum wage still. On minimum wage. Nothing wrong with minimum wage, but they're on minimum wage after working at university for 3 years of their life, putting all their effort in just to end up working minimum wage. So, you know, it's like it really just depends on what you want to do. Some careers don't need as much like that, but I would say it's a good cool if you can afford it, because it can be very you know, it gives you more options for the future. The blue life collar ain't it. You quit. It depends on who you are, though. Like, some people like that kind of life. Like, I mean, the people that I know who work blue collar, they make a lot of money and they like it. They like their work. They like that they have a lot of choice and stuff. One of my brother works in he makes a lot of shit out of wood. He's a kind of a carpenter, and he makes a shit ton of money. Like, he works a normal job in that, and he gets paid a fucking ton, and then he makes his own shit for people on the weekends. Bro's raking in money. Bro has more savings in like 2 years of that than I've ever saved. Like, bro is insane. Like, he's got so much money now. You know, it really just depends on what you like and what you and what you're willing to put up with. And you know, he's fucking nah, he's reaching for the stars. Bro will have like a house way before I even get that close. And then not only that, he will probably buy a second house and build and fix that up and sell that or rent it out. I mean, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. So it really just depends on who you are and what you want in a job. And some people, like, I'm someone who likes to sit in an office. I'll be honest. I'll be frank. I like sitting in an office. I hate offices. I hate office work. But I'll tell you what, I love the fact that I can just do fuck all in the grand scheme of things. Like, I can just, you know, for most of the time, you just do fuck all. You finish your work, you're done. You know, it sucks you have to sit there and wait, but, you know, whatever. It's not the end of the world. And if you can work hybrid or work from home entirely, that's even better. I couldn't work in retail. I couldn't work in blue collar myself. I couldn't do trades. I would fucking go nuts dealing with the fuckers around there. But, you know, bro, as I said, it just depends on who you are. There's there's other people I know who finish sixth form or college in the UK. 18, you know, when you get to 18 and then you finish school. And they went into trades, and again, they're making mad money now. They're making mad money. It's crazy. So it depends. But then there's people I know who went to university and doing the same. It just depends on who you are and what you want to do. And the key thing is to keep your options open. And, you know, but obviously that also depends where you live, because obviously if you're an American, for example, university costs a fucking fortune. If you live in Europe, a lot of European countries will just subsidize university. You don't have to pay for university, or you pay a very small amount. So if you're in Europe and you live in a country where there's free university or very cheap university, you might as well. You might as well. You know, if you like education, you like academic stuff, you might as well. Fuck it. You know, worst case scenario, you finish with a degree, or you finish with maybe half a degree. You know, I know that some places will offer, like in the UK, you can get like certificates of higher education, diplomas of higher education, a full bachelor's degree, and so on. You know, even if you just get some university, that's better than nothing, right? But it depends where you live. If you live in America, maybe not, because America's fucking expensive for university. You know, Britain, it's kind of here and there at the moment in the UK. You know, they're really making the next year, the current university students in the UK, again, absolutely fucked for loans. Like, their loans are so shit. I feel really bad for people in university at the moment. You know, I feel bad for Joe, actually, because he's at university at the moment. His loans are going to be shit. Absolutely fucked. But then again, it's going to help him get a job. So, you know, because he's happy, because he's going to get him a job that he wants to do, he's passionate about, it's worth it. So, I don't know. It just depends. Yeah, I don't know. It just depends on where you live. Some countries are better than others, but it depends also on on the job you want and the passion you have for it. If you're just doing it for the sake of it and you're paying a lot of money for it, it's not really worth it, in my opinion. But if you're doing it because you have a passion and you know what you want to do and you know the route to it, do it. Even if you've had to pay a fortune, it's still worth it. Like, that's like what Joe's doing, you know, he's working towards something that he's actually passionate in. It's worth it. But I know so many people who went to university who weren't passionate in what they were doing, and they just did it because they got told. They literally just got told by people. So much pressure in the UK to go to university. There was so many people that came into school, into college and sixth form and all that, and they would say, oh, you know, yeah, like, you should go to university, you should go to university. You know, there's so many people that are trying to push university on us, and, you know, it doesn't work for everyone. And so those people got really, really, you know, some of the people who did it got screwed. But then again, there's other aspects you can take into consideration. Like, yeah, there's independent living. That's valuable. Living, you know, living off, living with a bunch of other people. You get used to living with people. You get to socialize. That's valuable too. But not everyone does that. A lot of people live at home and they commute in. You know, but then there's networking, you know, that's really valuable. But then not everyone does that. So there's all these different things, and whatever you do, you should try to make it the most valuable for what you want. So try to do as much as you can in the shortest amount in that time period. But that's why it's so complicated. I can't really say, like, that's why my advice is literally just do what you're passionate about, or what you enjoy, that, you know, and try to just take in as many opportunities as you can whilst you can, because there's no one-size-fits-all path, and I know there's a lot of people that regret what they've done. Me. I fucking hate everything to do with computers, so why the fuck am I working in that? I don't know. Don't ask me. Don't ask me why I fucking did all that. I liked computers when I started. I hate technology now. But I don't know, just do what you can. See what happens. It's a fun part of life. What I don't like about life now is it's much more stressful. Back in the old days, you could try different things and fuck around. You know, like, if it didn't work out, you could do something else. But now the world is so much harsher on you that you feel like you only really have like a few opportunities, a few chances, and if you fuck it up, you're kind of screwed. I hate that about the world nowadays. Like, I have stories of my grandparents, and they did so many random different jobs when they were growing up, and when they were, you know, when they were in their 20s. They did like so many random different jobs that had no correlation, no connection to their final career path. And they could just walk into the job. They literally would just they would literally just walk in. They would literally just, you know, call up or go to the actual place and say, hey, I'm available to work, and they just fucking hide them. Like, what? It's like, what? I don't know. Crazy. Depends where you live. The job is, yeah, that's the thing as well. It's different jobs have different worth in different places. Like in the UK, nursing is really, really shit pay. But if you go to a country like Australia, you can get doubled or even sometimes treble the pay. I know that their cost of living is higher in Australia, but you'll generally be better off. So again, that's another thing, you know, the same job can pay more or less in different places. So again, it just depends. I would say just try things and see what fits, and don't worry about it too much. You know, try to find something you enjoy. Because that will help a lot. Try to find something you enjoy. That genuinely will help you a lot. But then again, you can sometimes end up hating it, so I don't know. Basically, fuck life. Life sucks.
Get the insurgents and get out of there. Use the mounted machine gun on one of them if you have to. I'll meet you at our safe house on North Calafia Way. They're gonna send people after you, and they aren't going to be nice people. Make sure we get the LA.
Yeah, the grass is always greener, isn't it? That's a good point. Yeah, a lot of people, you know, the grass is always greener until you try it, and it's fuck this. Nah, you got to try stuff. That's probably the thing I think that's the thing I say the most for like advice is just give things a go. Give things a go. You won't know until you try it. You won't know until you've given it a go, and you won't, you know, and just try different things when you can, because you won't always get a chance when you're older. When you hit your 30s and 40s, it's not the end of the world. You can still start again, but you have a lot less opportunities to try things. Whereas when you're young, you can try things. You can really just give things a go and see what fits for you. But the thing is, and this is the thing, right? A lot of young people, doesn't matter what they work in, they get paid so shit now. So also don't worry about it too much there. No one I know particularly makes a huge wage. The only person I know who makes a fair bit of money is someone who's actually the only people I know that have made who are on good wages at the moment are people who got their jobs because of relatives, pretty much. Yeah, everyone I know who's on a really good on a good wage is pretty much people who grew up knowing certain people and they got their jobs from that. Like people who are in high up in companies. Like there's one guy I know. To be fair to him, he's done a good amount of work. He's a good guy and he's done a lot of he's really worked for it. But he did get a massive step up in life because his dad works for a large tech company. And so he got a massive step up from that, you know. He had to start low down, don't get me wrong. He had to start a bit low down from it, but he still it gave him that foot up, that chance to get into it. Whereas he even says it, he didn't go to university, and a lot of the people in his job, a lot of the people that he meets asked him the same question. What university did you go to? It's quite common for him. He gets asked a lot. Oh, what university did you go to? And he just has to say, no, I didn't go to university. And I think that's partly because, yeah, he got into a job. He got into a job that would have been very difficult for him if it wasn't for the fact he had university. You know, if he didn't have a relative that helped him get into the job initially, he probably, he might have. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but he would have probably had a harder time at the very least getting into that role. So it just goes to show, like, yeah, if you know the right people, if you're born in the right families and know the right people, it can get you a lot of places. So don't feel too bad if life can be a bit difficult for you, just, you know, because a lot of people don't have that. I remember he actually offered me a job back in the day. He actually asked me, he said to me, oh yeah, my dad works in such and such. I don't want to dox him or anything. And he said to me, do you want me to ask my dad to get you an interview or whatever? And I remember I said no, I didn't want to, because I wanted to like I wanted to do my own thing, right? Yeah, fucking stupid idea that was. Should have just taken it. Should have just said yes. Yes, I should have just said fuck yes. No, I said no, I wanna try to figure my own way out. No, biggest fucking regret. Biggest fucking regret, bro. Biggest fucking regret. I mean, maybe not, because of that, because I didn't, I was able to meet Rebecca. This is the thing, right? I sometimes look back and think to myself, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? If I had done anything differently, I would never have met Rebecca. I would never have met Rebecca. And she's my favorite person in the world, and I don't think I would have found someone else like her had I gone into any other thing. So if I had said yes, I wouldn't have been playing PlayStation at the time I played PlayStation to Mia. You know, that's the thing. I wouldn't have had the time. I wouldn't have the time or the opportunity to play it.
Bring them in. I'm waiting.
and I would never have met her. So fuck it. Like, it's a regret in some ways because it would have got me into a position that, you know, like he is now. But at the same time, I would never have met Rebecca. So is it really worth it? No, it wouldn't have been worth it. The other person I know who is doing really well is his dad owns a company, and although to be fair to him, he said no when his dad offered him to come work with him. He said no. He said he wanted to do it his way, he wanted to do it his own way as well. To be fair to him, he ended up changing his mind because he hated the other job. He got a job from one of his family members knew someone who was hiring, who was a good friend, so he got a job there. And he was okay, but the boss wasn't very good and kept kind of lying to him, saying, "Oh yeah, you know, like if you do this, one day you can do this and this and that." And it never ended up actually happening. Like he was always just, you know, promises, but never actually ended up happening. And he hated the job because everyone he worked with was women. He worked with just no one but women, pretty much. And he hated it. He fucking hated work. He had to travel such a long way to work every day, and then he would just end up being stuck with a bunch of women in the job. For like the whole day, and where he had to work was not. It was kind of out in the countryside, so he ended up there was nothing to do during lunch. Like you literally couldn't go anywhere for lunch. There was nowhere ready to go other than a few pubs, and that was it. So that he couldn't just like. He just didn't like it. He found it really, really, really frustrating. Bro's boss was Simeon. You know what? It actually might be. His boss does sound like Simeon, actually, thinking about it. Now his boss like literally hired him, was like, yeah, you know, you're gonna go on to these, you're gonna be going to these conventions, you know, like you're gonna be going to these conventions and you're gonna be selling it, because he was like involved in, I think he was working in admin, but like his boss was like promising him that he could go into sales and marketing and stuff. I was like offering, you know, saying, "Oh yeah, you can go into these conventions and marketing conventions, all this shit around Europe and all this crap," and it never happened. And I think he went to one in France as like a tasting. He never ended up going again, and nothing. He never got another chance. I don't know if he did so shit that he never got another option to. I don't know, but he fucking hated it. He hated that job because he was working with primarily women. So he couldn't have like a bit of lads banter or anything. He couldn't really make any friends. Mind you, they weren't like young women. They were middle-aged women. Mind you, bro was 18. Bro was 18, 19. These were like 40-year-old women. Like there was no similarities at all. It was not like it's not like you're working with like young women, like, you know, early 20s, you know, maybe you can chat them up, you know, maybe, you know, at the very least, you know, have good friendships with them, whatever. They were all middle-aged, 40-year-old, you know, married, mobile kids, women. Like their kids were coming up to the same age as him. Like the only thing he'd talk about with them was the fact that their kids were like playing games and he played games, kind of thing. Dead, bro, absolutely dead. So he ended up just saying he really struggled with that. He felt so guilty about leaving, and he felt so guilty about not having a job at the time, because he would basically be leaving a job and he wouldn't have a job lined up. He felt so guilty, so he really sat on it for ages. And he went and he met some girl at the time, and his girl was really bad for him. It was like, because she was a real high flyer. She came from Europe. She came from one of the Nordic countries. I'm not sure which one, and she was really like, you know, like a high flyer, wanted to move around Europe, you know, had family members who lived in Spain and all this shit all around Europe, and she wanted to move around Europe. And he as much as he liked to imagine himself being a high flyer, a high roller, he wanted to stay with near his family. You know, he's always been very close to his family, his dad and all that. So he ended up not doing any of that. They just ended up breaking up because she was just really like pushing him to do things he wasn't comfortable with and he didn't want to do. And so they ended up breaking up, and that's when he decided to say, he said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna quit my job." And he quit his job. He went to work for his dad, and he's doing really well now. He's got like shares in the company. He's got all sorts going on. So yeah, he's done really well from it because he took a job from his dad. You know, like he had to go back down at the first because his dad didn't want to just give him a nice high-end job straight away. But Feb, you know, he gave him a chance to get back into it, and I just think to myself, he should have done that from the get-go. He should have went and worked at his dad's from day one. because he clearly wasn't happy at the other place. Whereas he's worked at his dad's place before. He'd, you know, done like kind of Saturday stuff and like, you know, holiday stuff and, you know, like small jobs for his dad. So when he was younger, so he should have just went straight to his dad's place. He should have. But he didn't. You know, to be fair to him, he wanted to do it his own way. He wanted to prove to his dad and all that he could do it his own way. Fair play to him. But the place he ended up working just was so shit for him. It wasn't the right fit, and it really did take a toll on his mental health because. Yeah, bro, you could tell when I would speak to him, you could tell bro was in a bad space. Bro was not in a good space. He was so fucking out of it. I don't know, man. Like when I'd speak to him, he just did not seem happy. So I'm glad he went and worked for his dad in the end, and you know, he should have done it from the get-go. But I respect his attempt otherwise. So yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing fine. Him and the other guy are doing really well. But most of the other people I know are working for fucking shit, like wages. When you think about it, they're really not that high up. You know, like they're maybe breaking average, maybe just about hitting average. Oh, bro, you gonna steal my fucking insurgent, dickhead, fam? Oh, what a dickhead. Oh, whatever, you can drive. No, bro, you're in my car. Keep driving. Don't stop. See, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. A lot of people that I know, yeah, they're not doing as well as they were, or as well as they thought they would. And I think that's just unfortunately because in the UK at the moment, jobs just do not pay like. The thing is, management jobs are so shit in the UK. So, you know, in America, you hear these management jobs, 100 grand, 150 grand. I'm like, what the fuck? What kind of management role gets you that in the UK? Like, even, like, there's so many people who work as managers that I know, and they're all getting paid maybe £1 or £2 more per hour than the minimum wage. So that the main workers are being paid, you know, minimum wage or just over it, and then the managers are getting paid an extra £1 or £2 on top. Like, what is wrong with it? The UK is so shit for wage. Like, there's no point being a manager in the UK because you won't get paid a lot. It sucks. Whereas you hear about these Americans and they're getting paid like 80, 90, 100 grand a year for being a manager. What? 100 grand a year for being a manager? Nah, there's something wrong. Britain's wages suck. Hey Brittany, what's up? How you doing? You live in America? Oh, usually you can get one of those good-paying manager jobs then. American minimum wage in America is so low and really bad, but some of the higher-end jobs pay so like tech jobs pay so well in America compared to the UK. In the UK, I know of jobs, right? Where in the UK, you'll get paid 40 grand. These are IT jobs, 40 grand. Why are these people going on the Sea Sharks? You'll get paid 40 grand in the UK, right? You'll get paid about 100 grand in America for the same job. For the same job. I'm just sitting there like, bro, you're getting paid how much? Like, I don't know, man. Like, you just get paid so high for some jobs in America. 100 grand, bro. I'm just like, damn, man. GTA 6 probably gonna have a bunch of Ferraris and Lamborghinis, a lot of modern cars, but you want there to be some 70s muscles. There probably will be 70s muscle cars in GTA 6. I definitely think Rockstar needs to do more cars that aren't just supercars though, because they seem to really put a lot of supercars in their DLCs, and they're really boring. You live in the worst place in America. You live next to Ohio. Wait, are you saying that you live in the worst place because of your area, or are you saying that Ohio being next to you is the reason it sucks. Like, are you just shitting on Ohio? Oh my days, poor Ohio, man. Oh my days. Are you excited for GTA 6? Yes, I'm very excited for GTA 6. I am more excited for GTA 6 than I am to have a child and see his first, hear his first word and all that stuff. Not that I'm gonna have a child, don't worry. I'm not having children ever. Me and Rebecca agreed on that. Do you get the same problem? You always get killed in online every single time. Really? Have you used passive mode yet? If you could use passive mode or go into like an invite only session, then you won't get killed as much. Unfortunately, GTA is full of dickheads and they just kill you for no reason. So yeah, not much you can do about that, sadly. You live in Indiana. You know, the only thing I know about Indiana is the show The Middle. I'm pretty sure that was set in Indiana. That's the only thing I've ever heard about when it comes to Indiana. Wait. Gary, remember the city Gary with like the Jackson 5? That's also in Indiana, isn't it? And isn't that like one of the worst places in America? Yeah. Now I remember a little bit more about Indiana. You need regular luxury cars, Mercedes, BMW, so it looks like the real world. I'm actually really curious to see what the cars driving around will be like. There'll probably be a lot more electric cars and stuff driving around. And SUVs will be everywhere, because SUVs have really taken over America, haven't they? SUV, like, that's what I find really fun looking at the different GTA games, is seeing, like, GTA 4, and then seeing, like, GTA 5 and the shift to more and more SUVs and trucks, and the increase in size of trucks. And then GTA 6 are going to be huge-ass trucks that, like, dwarf anything from GTA 5. Who's actually got the money to have kids these days? Rich people. Rich people and people that don't know how to budget. Because, like, that's genuinely who I see when it comes to kids. I see people who are either very rich and can afford kids, or people that really, frankly, shouldn't have kids. That's all I ever see. I never see anyone in the middle having kids. It's always either the poorest or the richest. The middle class seem to not want to have kids these days. You've been in Ohio when he was in... Even Ohio was cool. Oh, really? You're 26. Almost my age, actually. Can you believe this, everyone? I am almost in my 30s. So I'm at that stage where I should be thinking about kids, yeah? Not happening. I'm gonna tell you next year. I'll tell you how bad being in your 30s is. All right. I feel bad, you know, because I remember when I first met Cave. I was like 21 or 22 when I first met Cave, and he was going into his 30s, and now I'm almost going in my 30s. So Cave's almost in his 40s now. Thinking about it, that's crazy. And my friend from my old American friend, he was 32, I think, when I met him when I was 21. Bro's gonna be like 40 something soon. What the hell, man?
It was cool. Don't answer the phone.
You've been playing GTA since GTA 3 came out.
All right.
It's a good one to start with, honestly. GTA 3 is a classic. GTA 3 is the first, like, proper quintessential GTA. Like, GTA 1 and 2 were cool, and London, of course, but they don't have the same vibe as GTA 3. However, I just found this out, and this is something I didn't know about. Apparently, there was a GTA game that was going to come out. Oh, someone left, didn't they? Oh. There was a GTA game, yeah, that was going to come out between GTA 2 and 3. It was being worked on after GTA 2, and it was cancelled. And it's affectionately known as GTA 2.5. Yeah, that wasn't its real name, but, you know, that's what people call it, because it was going to be isometric 2D view, like 2.5D view. I was like, damn, like, that would be so cool. I hope someone leaks that one day. I hope someone leaks like an early source code of that one day. I would love to play that. I know it wouldn't be finished, but I'd love to just walk around it, just to see what it's like. But what can you do, right? GTA 3 came out 20 years ago. Yeah, it came out 22 years ago now, 2001. Yeah, they had to change a few things in GTA 3 because of 9/11. The cop cars being the primary thing. They changed it from the blue New York style cop cars to the white and black San Francisco style cop cars, which now is a classic look, but it definitely changed the vibes a lot. You're not having kids at all. They are hard to deal with, especially when you have a low level of autism. It's possible that your kid will have a high level. Just the fact that kids are tough to have. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's true. Kids are already hard to have, right? And then, you know, if you have autism or if your kids have autism, it just adds more to it. So honestly, yeah, I mean, I can't blame you for that, because kids are already hard enough on their own, right? You know, so having anything on top of that could just make it absolutely insane. It's always crazy when people like the amount of stuff like that they have to do to help, like all the different therapies and stuff you got to do nowadays with kids with autism. It's a lot of work for parents, so I always have a lot of respect for the people that can and cope with that. What's your favorite GTA game? GTA 4. GTA 4 is my favorite GTA game. I love the down and dirty vibe of GTA 4. I love it's like kind of the criminal underworld. You always feel like you're at the bottom and you're kind of getting scraps. But I suppose I include like all the GTA 4 with that. So like Lost and Damned and Ballad I consider Lost and Damned Ballad like basically part of GTA 4. So I suppose all of GTA 4 is my favorite GTA game. Why did the Ballad have better graphics? Because they try to make it more like bright and lively. Because a lot of GTA 4, the reason GTA 4 looked the way it did is because they wanted to make it dark and dreary. And I think people do prefer like light. That's why Rockstar's been sticking to light and like bright areas since, you know, like San Andreas, sunny, bright. GTA 6 in Vice City, light and bright. Light and bright can make everything look better. And if you go and if you get GTA 4 on the PC and you set the weather to like Ballad weather, it looks great. Ballad did a great job for like just improving like the way it looked. Lost and Damned, for example, looks like the worst version because they had it all gritty and grainy. Again, it's just like kind of the filters they used for the game. But if you go and put GTA 4 and you stick it in with the Ballad filters, it looks really good. If they redo Liberty City, they could do fine if they made the cop cars blue. Well, I think the thing is nowadays, New York City cars nowadays are white, which is what they did for GTA 4. The GTA 4 cars were what the cop cars looked like at that point. But the traditional blue cop cars from New York were gone at that point. So they're not there anymore. Unless if they set GTA 5, a future GTA game in like the early 2000s. Which I don't know. GTA 4 Ballad really was peak. GTA Ballad was peak GTA 4 or GTA in general because it had the right amount of grit and realism, but with the right amount of silliness. It wasn't like GTA 5, which is just ridiculously silly at times. That's my issue. GTA Ballad is like the perfect mix of GTA 4 and 5. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping GTA 6 will be more of that than GTA 5, like craziness. GTA 5 is a bit too silly. Your favorite GTA game is San Andreas and GTA 4 and GTA 3. Yeah, I have a lot of favorite GTA games. I don't blame you though. It's hard to pick one. Have you ever played GTA roleplay? I'm assuming. I have played. I've only loaded into a roleplay server. I've never actually played proper roleplay. I've never bothered with it. But I loaded into a server and just played around a bit, but I never bothered to stick with it. Luis was the most relatable. Luis was pretty relatable, to be fair. I think for me, Nico was very relatable because I always wanted to move to America when I was a kid. I grew up wanting to move to America. That was always my goal. And so the kind of the immigrant aspect of Nico's story was very much like moving to a new place, having to deal with new, kind of a new culture. Although it wouldn't have been as, obviously, America's not as big of a difference to someone from the UK as it is, say, someone from Eastern Europe, but at that time anyway. But it would have still been a new kind of culture to me. And so I kind of, it kind of was a nice, I kind of related to that. Obviously now I don't want to move to America, so, but I still love Nico for that reason, but Luis is pretty relatable as well. Probably one of the more relatable ones. Like, none of the GTA 5 characters are relatable in the slightest. Trevor's fucking crazy, Michael is an arsehole, and Franklin is... I suppose Franklin, I suppose, a little bit relatable, but not that much. Not to me, anyway. You're level 38 in GTA Online. Yeah, that's a good... That's yeah, I can see where you're probably getting killed a lot, because people just target low levels, because people are assholes. Do you like America? I like America. I wouldn't want to live in America, but I like America. Like, I wouldn't want to live in America. I wouldn't want to visit America, just because I don't want to hand over my phone and shit when you go into the airport and they're like, oh yeah, well, we want to see your phone. No, TSA, you're not seeing my phone. That's fucked up. But I like it. I like the shit that I like all the movies and all the media that comes out of America. You get a lot. America is great for creating stuff, like media and stuff. Like, Hollywood is everywhere, right? Everyone knows Hollywood movies. They could base a GTA in Nevada. I mean, they could do. We haven't had a Las Venturas for years. They could do another Las Venturas. You love it even though you hear gunshots every morning a minute. I mean, to be fair, America's not the worst place in the world to live. Like, I would prefer to live in America than, say, I don't know, Sudan, for example. Like, I would rather live in America than Sudan. So, I mean, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's still a great country to live in. It's still a first world country. It's still democratic, at least for now. It's still, you still have rights. You still have, you can work anywhere you want, if it's provided you can qualify for it. You can go and get food anytime you want. You can go and get your car and drive around. You haven't got to worry about any of that, any real bad shit. So it's a nice country still, but I wouldn't want to live there myself, just because I still think the UK is a better place to live overall. Anywhere but North Korea. You don't want to live in North Korea then, Joe? North Korea is amazing. America's like third on your list. What countries are ahead of America for you then? You heard America was the strongest military. Yeah, America is by far the strongest military in the world. Yes, 100%. That is a fact. That's not something I'd even try to dispute. You like having more than 12 haircut choices. What do you mean? Nah, North Korea trims are the best, bro. Nah, North Korea trims are actually next level. I fucking love the trims in North Korea, bro. You would live in Netherlands or Germany before America. Yeah, Netherlands is pretty good, I'd say. Germany's also pretty good. Do you prefer, like, where's Norway on your list? Does Norway beat all of them for you? Or is, like, Norway low down in your list? I'm just assuming because you mentioned, like, places you would want to live, like, other than your own country. So, but where would Norway fit on your list if you had to include it? First. Nice, bro coming along with a fucking bike. Bro brought a bicycle to this mission. I'm done. What's your favourite part where you live? Well, I'm like in the UK. London. I always say it, London is the best place. I hate it, but I love it. In London is such a... It's both full of the most annoying assholes, most selfish, rudest assholes are known to planet Earth, but at the same time, it's also full of the most amazing and, I don't know, amazing and huge, like such a huge variety of people. I don't know. I love it, but I hate it. Sleepy Suffolk. Is that your choice, Joe? Sleepy Suffolk. You wouldn't wanna, you know, come London, yeah? You love anywhere except any middle wage, poor country, North Korea, Cuba, or China. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to live in North Korea or China myself, or Korea, or Cuba, to be fair. I can understand that. London's nice, carrying UK. Outside London, you get the you get the beasts. I'm done. I'm done. You get the beasts. You're gonna upset a lot of people in the UK who don't live in London with that. There's a lot of people in the UK that absolutely despise London for various reasons. I hope no one from the UK ever reads that. Anyone from the UK who's not from London ever reads that comment, because they would be pissed. Yeah, exactly. Joe's like, yeah, what do you mean the beasts? Do you think GTA 6 will be the last? I don't think GTA 6 will be the last, no. GTA 6 will be... There'll be more GTAs. It just might be a very long time until the next one, but I don't think GTA 6 will be the last. It's a very profitable, one of the most successful games in history. No one in their right mind would want to stop making GTA games, because why would you ever want to say no to profit, right? Profit, money, no. Capitalism is the one beautiful thing about capitalism, as much as I hate it. There will always be a demand. If there's a demand for something, there will always be people wanting to make it. And that's GTA for you. GTA is in huge demand. There will always be a market for it. There will always be people wanting to make more. You class people from Manchester, Luton, Liverpool, and Birmingham as the beasts. Which is funny though, Joe, because you support Liverpool FC. And everyone from Scotland, yeah. I mean, Rebecca probably would agree with that. Where do you think GTA 7 will take place? I was kind of talking about this earlier. I don't know. I think maybe they'll do something like Chicago finally, but then they might just redo the same 3 cities forever. So it could be Liberty City, it could be Vice City, it could be San Andreas. I doubt it would be Vice City at that point. It could be San Andreas again. It could be like San Fierro, Las Venturas. 2 cities they've done, but they've not done for a while now. Or they might go to like somewhere like Chicago, somewhere new. I don't know. I honestly wouldn't know. The Scousers are something else. Damn. So you support the team, Joe, but you don't support the Scousers, huh? Damn. To be fair, I'm not gonna lie. I heard on the TV today. You know me. I don't watch TV much. The news came on. And the first thing I heard was that there was a gangland shooting where a girl died because her boyfriend was a gang member and someone like attacked their house thinking that the guy was there. And she died. It was with a gun, like with a machine gun, as they called it on the news, which could mean anything because, you know, everyone calls any automatic gun a machine gun. And I'm like, bro, one of the few places in the UK where there's like proper gun crime is in Liverpool. Like, whenever I hear about gun crime in the UK, I'm like, it's Liverpool. It's Liverpool.
Of course it's loud, Ron. Progress is loud. Look, sorry about Ron. He gets nervous.
You would live in Alaska because they don't have sales tax. Oh, you would hate the UK then. We have sales tax on everything. But the thing is, in the UK and in all of Europe, sales tax is included in the price anyway, so you don't have to add up. You don't like say a $3, like in the UK you wouldn't have a £3 burger and then have like another 99p on top of it. In the UK, the burger would just be priced as £4, so the tax is included. Hey, Rebecca. There's a GTA 2 that has a city that hasn't been 3D. Yeah, Anywhere City is in GTA 2. It's literally called Anywhere City, but it's not really. It's based in the future. Well, at the time it was the future, 2020, and so it has a few things that like Rockstar kind of guessed for 2020, but obviously it's not 20. It's not actually anything like 2020. Do you just like places that don't have taxes? Is that what you're trying to say? You just don't like paying tax? You don't like the idea of paying taxes? Hey, Rebecca. Aren't you supposed to be sleeping, by the way? I thought you said you were going to bed. I don't think the other guy got the Benson, by the way, so we're pretty much just driving line, and that guy got killed because he went off on his own. You're too cold. Do you not have your heater on? I don't think the other guy knows to get the Benson, or he doesn't care. So he's just kind of left us. He's got 5 minutes to get all the way to the final destination. Just commit tax evasion. Just commit tax evasion. That's the big brain right there. The other guy died because he was back there. You're waiting to warm up, then your body will let you sleep. Well, hopefully you warm up soon. Fuck's sake, man. I swear, man, these people. I don't want to be rude, but these people, man. Oh, he left. Fuck. He left. Bro said, no, I'm done. You'd pay higher taxes, live in a city is a privilege. Yeah, I mean, I prefer the idea of higher taxes if it means that you get services. Like, for me, right, if someone said to me, you can live somewhere where there's very little tax, but you have to pay for your own healthcare, you have to pay for, like, your own trash. Because I've heard about it. By the way, some places you have to pay... You don't pay, like, a council tax. Like, in the UK, you pay a council tax, and you get all your things like rubbish and stuff including it. In some places, you have to pay the fucking trash company to come and take your trash. Like, what? You gotta pay them direct. Some places don't even have fire, like, services. They have volunteers. You gotta pay, like, you gotta pay, like, the firefighters to fucking look out for your house. And if you don't pay, your house just gets burnt down. If you don't pay, your house just burns down. You're fucked. Like, bro, I would rather live somewhere where there's taxes and I get something for it. Like, in the UK, you get the NHS. You know, you get all your healthcare looked out for. You haven't got to pay for it. The only thing you got to pay for is dental and eye care. But, like, I would rather have that, personally. I would rather have that than have to pay for my own healthcare. You know, I would rather have everything, paid for by the government than have to fucking pay for it myself or negotiate with companies to pay, to have it installed or whatever. That's the thing, exactly. You know what? Finland is a good example of a country that knows how to look out for its people. And you know what? I did a thing when I was younger about I did like a bit of research on this on a thing called happiness scale. Happiness is in a lot of these countries, like the Nordic countries and Finland and all that, they have really high happiness. They have high taxes, but they have high happiness. And I would rather live... Yeah, they have a high suicide rate, although that's considered to be something to do with how fucking dark it is all the time, That doesn't help. There's a lot of, like, suicide rates go up in places where there's a lot less sun, which doesn't surprise me because there's a, seasonal... what's that thing called?
Room
Seasonal
in the back or something?
something disorder. I can't remember the name.
Cool.
That's
I'll get
quite a big
set up.
thing. So places where there's a lot of fucking darkness and not a lot of light can be very shit. Can fuck with you. But the overall happiness rate is actually quite high.
Said you might be able to help me
And
out with something.
so
Well, not me, so
that's how
very
you should
kind of
measure
helping. And I want to understand
that's how you should measure, not GDP. I hate that countries measure by GDP per capita. It should be, or just GDP. It should be measured on happiness. Your citizens being happy, in my opinion, makes way more sense. And you might be a country with a high GDP, really high GDP, but if your people are really unhappy and not doing well from that, then what's the point? What's the point of having all this money if your people are unhappy and your people are frustrated and depressed? What's the point?
Geneticist, weapons development, engineer, car nut, but definitely
Ireland has
not
free healthcare.
a-
Ireland has an interesting system. You have to pay for GP appointments in Ireland, but I think the actual healthcare itself is free. But to go to a GP, you have to pay, which sucks. In the UK, you don't have to pay at all to go to the doctor. At all. You pay nothing. You don't pay a single cent.
Incarcerated for a crime
I'm playing on
he didn't
PS5.
Commit, but well, let's just say money talks, and he's going to walk. So
You wonder how
we got
doctors
two
get
things
paid.
to
They
do
get paid
today.
from the government.
Straightforward, do them one at a time, but
The doctors get paid by the government. The government hires them and pays them. Or in some countries, you'll have private healthcare that is funded by the government, so the government will pay the private company to use their doctors. In the UK, most doctors are hired by the NHS, and so the government pays for that, which we pay through taxes. So don't worry, the doctors do get paid. Sorry, no, Xbox players can't play with PlayStation players on GTA 5. Isn't UK terrible wait times for doctors? It depends where you live. At the moment, it's pretty bad, but that's because of 10 years or 13 years of funding issues. Back when Labour was the government, back in 2010, the UK was one of the top countries in the world for healthcare. It was top 3 for pretty much every metric for healthcare. Fully socialized healthcare. Fully socialized, fully paid for by the government, other than dentistry and eye care. Everything else fully paid for by the government, and it was one of the top 3 in the world, for every metric pretty much. And in 13 years of underfunding and cuts, it has gone from being top 3. It's still in, I think, top 10 to top 15. But yeah, it's a lot worse than it was back then. But that's purely because of funding. Purely because the government doesn't give a flying fuck about it. But back when the government gave a fuck about it, it was one of the top 3. I mean, pissed me off, man. Pisses me off that they did that. Fuck the Conservative government. They fucked us. They don't give a flying fuck about the people. You're Spade, what are you saying, bro? I'm alright, thanks. How are you? Absolute fucking bullshit how much the UK fucked with its healthcare system. But it's still very good, and the thing I like about the UK is you don't have to pay. Like, I don't have to think, like, if I'm ill, I don't have to think, oh, can I afford to go to the GP? I just go, Yeah, okay, I gotta wait 2 or 3 weeks to see the GP. But then I've heard stories of people in America who pay for private healthcare who've had to wait 2 or 3 weeks for a GP. So, I'm not that fussed. I'm happy with the fact that I can just go to a GP in 2 to 3 weeks. I haven't got to pay a single penny. Outside of my taxes and all that. I don't have to worry. I don't have to think, oh, can I afford to pay, £30? Can I afford to pay £60 or whatever? Like, I can just go. I can just rock up to the doctor. I can just phone up, say, hey, I need an appointment, and rock up.
So, you're moving on the plane. It's at Mackenzie Airfield. Logistics are as yet undecided.
You get American prices but still higher EU taxes.
Ammunition, armor, and maybe even explosives.
No, like, that's the thing, right? I've had full-on surgery, right? I had full-on surgery a few years ago. Had to be put under and all that stuff. I didn't have to pay a penny. Didn't have to pay a penny. The only thing I had to pay for, The only thing I pay for is prescriptions. So in the UK, you got to pay for when you get a medical prescription, you know, like medicines. You have to pay for that. Only in England, though. I think England and Wales. I think Scotland doesn't have it. No, actually, only in England. Every other country in the UK doesn't have prescriptions. You get free medicine if you need it, and you got a doctor's prescription. You just go and get it for free. In England, you have to pay, but in England, it's only £9 for a prescription. So you can go a little bit more than that now. It's closer to 10 now. Maybe it is 10 now. I'm not sure, but it's closer to 10. You basically pay about £10 and you get your medicine, and that can be a whole bunch of shit because it's only I think it's only on per time it's distributed. So if you have multiple things in one, you don't pay. You only pay the single £10, I believe. And so you can get like inhalers for like 10 quid. It's crazy. Actually, no, I think inhalers are free, actually, in the UK. Some things are free in the UK no matter what. So things like diabetes drugs, insulin, for example, you don't have to pay for insulin no matter what. Even if you have no jobs or anything, nothing. Even if you're working in high-end jobs as well, you get insulin shit for free no matter what. It's crazy. Minecraft, you can play anything with people playing. Yeah, it's because Rockstar's shit. Rockstar isn't very good at doing games online, so they didn't bother to add any sort of crossplay. But are you one of the people who killed? No, I don't kill people in GTA Online. I'm actually very friendly. I haven't killed anyone on purpose in GTA Online in about 6 months. Isn't Scotland and Ireland territory of the UK? Well, Scotland and Northern Ireland, not Ireland. Northern Ireland. Ireland is not part of the UK. It hasn't been part of the UK since the 20s. Or maybe 30s, 20s or 30s, I can't remember. It's not part. You'll piss Irish people off a lot if you say Ireland's part of the UK. It's not. So Northern Ireland's part of the UK, Scotland's part of the UK, Wales is part of the UK, and the correct term is that they're a constituent nation of the United Kingdom, or I like to call them kingdoms. They're not territories. They're full-on members of the United Kingdom with England, so they are kingdoms. If you say Irish people are part of it, though, they will get pissed. Some Scottish people will get pissed, but they are officially part of the United Kingdom. That makes UK one of the best countries. Yeah, legit, though. Like, I love how cheap it is for healthcare. Like, it is insane. Like, yeah, okay. The dentistry is an issue in the UK. Like, it's very hard to get national healthcare for dentistry. But even then, anyone who's on benefits can get free dentistry if they can get an NHS dentist. Anyone who's not on benefits and has a certain amount of income, if they go to a dentist who's an NHS dentist, they have to pay a small fee. I think at the moment it's about £20 to £30 for a filling, or no, for a check. Fillings are like I think 50 maybe, and then like full-on teeth removal is like I think maybe 200 or something like that at the moment. And you could have as many teeth out as you want in one go for that one price. It's not easy to get an NHS dentist anymore, unfortunately, so a lot of people go private, but it is still an option. And so it's very cheap. So that's the only issue with the NHS, is that dentistry is a little bit fucked on it, but everything else is free pretty much. And as I said, in some countries and in the UK, you can get full-on free. In Scotland, for example, they give you a free eye test every year, I think it is. Whereas in England, they only give people on benefits free eye tests. So, but then eye tests are very cheap in England, so it's fine. I have a PlayStation that came up with you every second. I could GTA Online for years. Oh yeah, GTA Online is great. I'd be playing that for years. Yeah, 100%. What's my favorite game? GTA 4, but my current favorite game is GTA 5. Are there states or provinces? No, the UK doesn't have states. It's broken up into counties. I'll show you a map in a second. Just remind me, I'll show you a map of what the UK looks like in a second. I'm just waiting for these guys to die. Yeah, I knew I was going to die. These guys are just going to continue dying, so I'll show you a map of what the UK looks like, to make it easy for people who've never seen the UK. Oh, they're a lovely map. It's technically on Amazon, but close enough. So it might not be 100% accurate, but, you know, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. Geography lessons with Ryan. Bro, I love geography. Peak content. You know what? I should just leave. I should just leave this game and just do geography, yeah? These people are hopeless. There's no way they're going to fucking succeed. Or if they are, it's going to take forever. Where the fuck is my saves? Bro, where's my fucking picture? Wait, where did I... No, wait. It's fine, it's fine. I was like, where the hell is my picture? Oh, here it is. Alright, so this is the UK. So you can see there... Bro, shush. You can see there, Ireland is not part of the UK. It hasn't been for many decades. And so you can see the regions. You have in the north, you have Scotland. You have Northern Ireland on the island of Ireland, and you have Wales, which is that little kind of bit sticking out with the red line towards the. I wish I had a cursor. I need a cursor. Give me a sec. How would I do a cursor on this? I can't even know. I need to like fucking figure out how to do this shit, but I need to like figure out how to do cursors one day. But yeah, so that's that. So and then you can see all these little things. These are like all the little regions. Those are what they call counties. So I suppose in a way they're like counties in America. They're not like, you know, states. You know, they're all individual counties. They have their own little councils. Some of them are split into more. Like, for example, Berkshire is split into multiple is split into multiple councils. You've got different councils there. You've got West Berkshire and all that. And you've got, like, I think I can't remember if Slough's in Berkshire or not. And London's split into multiple little councils. But a lot of these are the traditional counties of the UK. And so some of them will have their own council. Some of them have multiple levels of councils. You have like, you know, parish council, county council, and then you have like a unitary council, like some sort of council which is for cities. And they all be in the same county. It's fucking weird. The UK's got all sorts of different levels of like, you know, governance. It's yeah. So you're rich on, you got PS5, you got an Xbox 360. Yeah, very different gen then. I don't, yeah, even if you could play Xbox and PlayStation, you wouldn't be able to play between those two different gens. But yeah, so that's how the UK split up. But the important thing to remember is that we're all one country. The UK, it's not like the States where the States all have very different laws and can have very different rules. UK, most of the control in the UK is centered right in London. So Westminster is our national government. Britain, the British government, you know, Westminster, whatever you want to call it. And so traditionally, all the power is centered right in the middle of London. And Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, they all have to follow the same laws for the most part. Now, there is a lot more devolution, as they call it, recently, where Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales will have a lot more. They have control over certain things. I think things like transportation, things like in Northern Ireland, you can own a gun. So get this: in the UK, in Scotland, England, and Wales, you're not allowed to own a handgun. Right? Handguns are banned. Guns in the UK in general are banned. In England, Wales, and Scotland, you're not allowed to own a handgun. In Northern Ireland, you are allowed to own a handgun. It's crazy. You can own a handgun. You know. So I grew up in England. I've never been near a handgun. I've never seen a handgun in person. I've never been near a handgun. It's not something you have in the UK. But in Northern Ireland, it is possible to have a handgun. Because it's a different law. It's a different law system. What's the need for a handgun? It's because, you know, in Northern Ireland and Ireland, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's a big thing in the UK. It's called the Troubles. There was a lot of conflict between people who wanted Northern Ireland to join Ireland and people who didn't. And there was lots of issues between Protestants and Catholics. And so there was the Troubles, and it was lots of terrorism. And depending on who you look at, some people would say that the northern, that the people who are in support of Ireland were terrorists, the IRA. Some people would say the British were terrorists. I'm not here to say I'm not here to decide who was who. But because of that, there's a lot of issues in Northern Ireland. It's very hard to legislate against things like guns and stuff because of the history. So it's a lot easier to leave it alone. But in England, Wales, and Scotland, there is literally no reason to have any sort of guns. So that's why whenever I hear about gun crime, it's very, very it always hits hard because gun crime is so non-existent here. It's not something you ever really see. So yeah, it's just what it is, It's just how it is in the UK. It's all different. So different places will have different laws and different rules and stuff. But generally the laws of the country are all very much the same all around the United Kingdom. The overall arcing rules. But it's changing more in the recent years. In Scotland is getting a lot more control over its own laws. They have some control over their own tax system now. But not a huge amount. It's not like the States, in the United States, different states have a lot of powers that different rules. But no, over here it's very similar. If you went to Scotland, you wouldn't notice much of a difference for the most part. If you went to Scotland from England or from England to Wales, you wouldn't notice a huge difference. It's just there are a few differences here and there, but it's very similar. And that's one thing I like about the UK. It's all very similar. But then again, if that's because I live in England. So because I live in England, I don't experience the same feeling as, say, someone who lives in Scotland. There's people in Scotland who want Scotland to be independent. They don't like the idea of being ruled from Westminster, and I can completely understand that. So I'm very lucky. I live in England. I very much, I'm very lucky in that regard. Especially where I live in England, London. It's very high. You get a lot of... London is basically the moneymaker of the UK. I know that might offend some people outside of London, but it is true. London is the moneymaker. And so London is also the one that gets the most funding. So it's a great place to live. But if you live somewhere up in the north of England, let's say if you live in, I don't know, North Yorkshire or Lanarkshire, or Lancashire, not Lanarkshire. Fucking, I'm becoming more American. Lancashire. No, actually, that's Scottish. Lancashire. Lancashire. You won't get as much. Rebecca's been polluting my brain, man. You won't get as much funding, and some of those areas are really run down now because they don't really get funding like the South does. The issue is Northern England up there. A lot of that was very industrial during the Industrial Revolution. So places like Manchester up there, Yorkshire, lots of coal, lots of industrial warehouse factories. So those areas were doing really well during the Industrial Revolution. And then obviously we've really industrialized now. We don't have really huge industrial capacity anymore in the UK. And so those areas have just kind of been left to basically do fuck all. They've been left to die effectively. So it's sad. It's very sad, unfortunately, in Northern England. They get really, really, really fucked over by Southern England orientated policies. So, yeah, I feel bad for Northern England. Some would even say they'd be better off joining Scotland and going to... because at least they'll get a little bit more attention up there. But yeah, yeah, there you go. South Lanarkshire. I don't know why. Lanarkshire's in my brain a lot now. Yeah, Scotland. Scotland's cool. But then they have Orkney and Shetland. You can see the islands up there. And they're off in the North Atlantic. Actually, once upon a time, controlled by Norway. Funny enough, Orkney and... I'm pretty sure Orkney and Shetland were both controlled by Norway at one point. Or at least the Shetlands were, weren't they? I can't remember. But... it's really interesting with those because they have their own way of life as well. They're very independent, although they're part of Scotland and thus part of the UK. They also have their own way of life that's very separate from the rest of us. So, is the British Virgin Islands a territory? Is its own thing? The British Virgin Islands are currently a territory of the United Kingdom, so they have their own government. but they are a territory of the United Kingdom. So they don't have any say in the parliament. Why are we in school? Because people asked for it. People wanted to talk about the UK, and I will talk about the UK. I love, as much as I shit on this country, I love the UK, and maybe some people find it interesting. I don't know. Some people do find it interesting. I know some people said to me that they like when I talk about stuff like this because it's interesting. As I said, I may shit on this country a lot, but I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of its history. I know it sounds a bit mad because of, colonial history and all that, yeah, there's some shady things going on there, but I am very proud of this country, and I'm very proud of its contributions to the world. It has done a lot to the world. And it is also one of the reasons where we have countries like America, countries like the United States, which have now taken over and, the ones pumping out shit tons of media and all this stuff, things that really affect the world, partly because of the United Kingdom. If there was no United Kingdom, there'd be no America. So... that's the same as Puerto Rico. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Puerto Rico doesn't have any power in the Congress, and likewise, the United Kingdom. There are a few territories in the world of the United Kingdom that still exist. Not many. We've got rid of most of our UK territories, but there are some that still exist in the world, and they have their own. Usually, have their own parliaments. They usually have their own government, but they don't have any power in the parliament. For example, the Falkland Islands. I don't know how many of you have heard of the Falkland Islands. There's a big issue with Argentina. Argentina believes that the Falkland Islands are part of Argentina. That's a load of bullshit. I don't want to be biased, but that's a load of fucking bullshit. Argentina basically never had any control of the islands, other than maybe for a very short period of time in their existence. And all the Falkland Islanders on the island, I think there's like a couple thousand of them, they all voted. 99, I think it was, percent of them voted to stay part of the UK, or as a territory of the UK. So, yeah, that's a load of bullshit. But they are down in the southern Atlantic, when they think that because they're near Argentina that it means some Argentinian, but the thing is, the Falkland Islands are like hundreds, maybe even I don't even know how far, but hundreds of miles away from Argentina, so I don't know what the fuck they're on about. There's quite a fair few territories of the United Kingdom. I can't list them all because I don't know them all, but a lot of them are like Caribbean islands and stuff that have been left over. Actually, maybe it's this is a map. Yeah, this is a good map. Let's change this. What the fuck happened there? What happened there? Oh, so what the? Yeah, let me redo this one. This one's weird. Actually, you know what? I can just reset it. Don't ask me why it's like that. They've changed OBS, so I don't know. I find it a little bit more difficult to do things. Here we go. Is there a GTA live stream? Yes, there's loads of GTA live streams on Twitch and YouTube. You should have a look. Yeah, so this is the current map of territories of the United Kingdom. So the more famous one's Gibraltar. Everyone knows Gibraltar. Well, I'd hope so anyway. Falkland Islands, again, another very, very well-known one. We don't really have many territories outside of the Atlantic and the Caribbean anymore. Most of our territories have been, as I said, they've been given up or traded away. But we have a few. Bermuda, obviously, is a well-known one in the Caribbean. US Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands. All these places, by the way, are well-known tax avoidance and tax evasion capitals of the world. A lot of them are British. Surprise, surprise. Montserrat. Montserrat's a cool one. I learned that in geography when I was in school. They had a volcano on the island that unfortunately erupted, and they had to evacuate, and they had to move. They had to give up their old capital and move, and build a whole new town or something on the other side of the island because of a volcano on the island. So really sad for people in Montserrat. But all these areas, all these little these territories, none of them have any sort of I don't think any of them have their own militaries, at least not more than a few men. and so they're all desperate. They're all pretty much relying on British troops and ships. You don't need a visa to go there. They have different visa requirements. All the territories, I believe, have their own visa requirements, and so they can choose who goes there. So if you're British, it's easy enough to go there maybe for like a trip, but to move there you would need to be allowed by the government of the region. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. It's not like, say, in France, where you know how, like, any French territory is pretty much part of France, like proper, like, you know, like French Guinea. French Guinea, you can literally just go from French Guinea to fucking Paris, or move from Paris to French Guinea, and it's all part of France. In the UK, it's not the case. These territories aren't proper members of the UK, and so they have different passports. Actually, they all have different passports. And get this, when we were part of the EU, if you lived in one of these territories, you weren't a full EU citizen. So if you were one of these territories, you didn't have EU citizenship. So if you wanted to move from one of these territories to Europe, it was a bit of a pain in the arse. You had to go through all the process. Whereas British citizens, people who lived in the United Kingdom, could just go to Europe, you know, willy-nilly, because they had different passports. Whereas French territories are just part of France. So if you live in French Guinea, you are French. That's how it is. You are French. If you live in one of these territories, you're not British. You know, none of these people have British citizenship, I don't think, or at least not full British citizenship. They're considered like, there's like the way it's changed throughout history. The British citizenship thing is fucking weird. Like we've changed it multiple times throughout history to make it like so that people living in territories aren't full British citizens, and then we changed it again later on, and yada yada yada. It's not like easy. It's not like you're not like a full citizen, if you will. You can come to the UK and you can live in the UK, but you're not like considered a full citizen like you would be if you were born and lived in the UK, like straight up. You don't have any sort of voting rights in our parliament, for example, because none of these areas are part none of these areas are part of the UK. I have a constituency in the UK, and I think the rules were changed. Get this, you know, when Hong Kong was part of the UK, when Hong Kong went to China, was given to China, they changed the rules to stop Hong Kong people from Hong Kong coming to the UK, because they didn't want all these people from Hong Kong coming to the UK. So they changed all the rules on citizenship so that they didn't count as full-on British citizens, so they couldn't come here. I mean, it's funny in a sense of the government's fucked up enough to do that. Not so funny for the poor fucking people from Hong Kong who thought that they were, you know, part of British. They were British. They could come to Britain. But yeah, we've changed our laws throughout multiple times to, you know, give different rights and stuff. So at the moment, none of these places are considered to be part of the UK. And as of right now, a lot of these places are on what the UN has is a the UN still consider these places colonized. They consider these places colonized areas, and they actually the UN actually wants to decolonize some of these areas because they don't consider them like fully free. But a lot of these places want to be part of the UK. We've never stopped them from leaving. Like, all these territories could leave if they voted to in their own parliaments. If they chose to vote to leave, they could do so. None of these places are held hostage by the UK. You know, they all have their own parliaments and they all have the right to leave if they choose to no longer be part of the UK of the territories. But they like it because they get the defense. They get defended by the UK. They get a lot of the benefits of being part of the UK territories. But then they also get the benefits of being independent to some extent. So that means that, like, the Cayman Islands and the British Virgin Islands and all that, they get a lot of tax evasion. They get a lot of British people going there for tax evasion, for, like, you know, to shove, you know, to hide all their money there. So, yeah. What map is that? This is the map of the British territories, Spade. As you can see there, the Gibraltar's a very well-known one. It was the Spanish also want Gibraltar back, but we won Gibraltar. The Spanish gave us pretty much Gibraltar in a peace agreement, and we've held it ever since. So Gibraltar is British. I'm sorry to any Spaniards who may disagree, but Gibraltar is British, and it will be for a considerably long time in the future. It is a very important part of the Western world, because it holds, basically controls who comes in and out of the Mediterranean in the western side. So yeah, it's a very important position, and I don't think the Americans would be very keen on Britain giving it up, because yeah, it would give up a very large strategic position. You thought it was GTA 6? Bro, how the fuck did you think this was GTA 6? Nah, this guy, bro. Hong Kong is weird because they're China's territory. Yeah, Hong Kong is fully Chinese now, although it's supposed to be a 50-year agreement, transitionary agreement, but the Chinese don't care, and so they're pretty much just Chinese now. And it will be, unfortunately, how it is for the people from Hong Kong. It's not easy when you've got a big billion-plus population country basically telling you what to do. It was interesting, actually, because Britain had the choice to keep Hong Kong a little bit longer if they wanted to, because Hong Kong, the deal with the Hong Kong was that Hong Kong proper is under agreement from Britain, but the surrounding areas that supported Hong Kong proper were under lease, and so Britain would have had to give those up, but then they could have kept Hong Kong proper, but it would be hard to keep because it would have been a pure island. It would have lost a lot of its like things like water sanitation and water delivery and stuff like that. It would have meant a lot of that stuff would no longer be. China could just cut that all off. But then the Chinese premier basically told Margaret Thatcher, who was in control at the time, yeah, you can either just give it back to us through peace, or you can give it back to us with us basically invading it. And Britain couldn't hold off against the Chinese at that point, Britain was not the empire it once was, and China was very, very quickly industrializing and modernizing. There would be no chance. China would have just taken it from Britain. There was no reason to hold on to it at that point, so... Aren't the Bahamas like a form of British culture? There is some Bahamas culture in the UK. Primarily, though, what you'll see is Jamaican culture. There's a lot of Jamaican culture that's been brought into the UK, although Jamaica is not part of the UK anymore, part of the British territories anymore. It used to be, but it was given up, I think, in the 60s. I'm not entirely sure. But... yeah, a lot of the territories are no longer exist. They're no longer British. But one thing I like is yeah, sorry to anyone who may not be interested in a history lesson or geography lesson, but it's fun. It's fun to talk about this stuff. So if you don't like it, there's always many other streams. I won't be streaming for much longer anyway. This is the Commonwealth of Nations. So a lot of these were ex-British colonies. Almost all of them were ex-British colonies, and a lot of them have joined into the Commonwealth of Nations. So some of them still have kings, or still have old king. So Jamaica, for example, still has a British king, but that may be changing because I think Jamaica wants to get rid of the king. So some of these are republics. Like India's a republic. But it's still part of the Commonwealth. But a lot of them, I think there's about 14 Commonwealth realms where the king is still technically the king of those countries. And this is the interesting thing. The king isn't just the king of England, who also happens to control them. He's the full king. King Charles is the full king of Canada. He's the full king of Australia. He's the full king of New Zealand. He's the full king of Jamaica. He is the full king of all those countries that have him as king. He's not king of England, and hence, then, by extension, he is king of those countries. He is king of those countries. And in theory, if the UK got rid of him as a king, he could go and move to one of those countries and be the king of those countries if we got rid of him. The thing is, he has no power, but get this, it depends on the constitution of the country. A lot of the things in the UK still require the king. They're still written, the legislation's still written to have the king. And Canada is a perfect example of that. Canada is going to be a pain to get rid of the king in Canada because a lot of the Canadian constitution is written with the king in mind. If they change that, it requires a whole bunch of changes to the constitution to get rid of the king, which means that it's, in some ways, it might be too much work, because how are they going to get all these different territories and provinces of Canada to agree on it? What happens if Alberta and Quebec or Montreal and all that, they don't agree? What happens if those, Quebec and Alberta disagree? or what happens if British Columbia and Nova Scotia disagree? It's going to be a fucking pain in the ass. Some countries, the constitutions aren't that tied to it. Like Australia wouldn't have as much of a difficult time getting rid of the king as, say, Canada. But Canada is going to be a pain in the ass to get rid of the king or whoever the future monarch is because of that. So, yeah, it's going to be fucked if they try to get rid of him. Not to say they shouldn't try, but it's going to be an absolute fucking pain in the ass, and I don't blame any leader, any government in Canada for not wanting to do it. I do not blame them. I would not wanna be that person who has to do that shit. Personally, it would be an absolute pain. Kill the home girl, Diana. Maybe, I don't know. I can't say for sure, but it's possible. And in theory, this is get this right. In theory, and this is the interesting thing. So these are the Commonwealth realms, yeah. The blue ones are the Commonwealth realms, and the orangey brown ones are former dominions and former territories that became republics and are still part of the Commonwealth. So like India, Pakistan, and all that. But get this: the rules of ascension for the monarchy were different in some of the countries. So in the UK, we changed it a few years back, or about maybe I think 10 years ago now, something like that. We changed it so that a firstborn girl will be queen over, because before it was the firstborn boy. So if there was a boy, even if he was like the thirdborn, he would become king. The girls were just disregarded. It was only if there was no boy left that the girl would become queen. We changed the rules so that the first child would become the monarch regardless if they were a boy or girl. But some countries in the Commonwealth didn't change the rules. So some countries in the Commonwealth or the Commonwealth realms still had girls as not allowed. It was be boys. So in theory, it could have been a situation where if Charles died and let's say there was let's say if Charles had an older sister, and let's just say in theory Charles had an older sister, it could have been a situation where in Britain the older sister would have became queen, but in some of the Commonwealth realms, Charles would have become king, because the rules of who becomes king or queen would be different because of that. Because we would have changed the rules here, but in some of the other territories that wouldn't have changed. So in theory, yeah, that could have happened. If Charles had an older sister, she could have become queen in the UK because we changed the rules. But then other realms would still have Charles, and that would have been an interesting situation of that. But thankfully, I believe all the realms now have updated theirs so that women can be the queen. The firstborn girl can be a queen now instead of the old rules. But that would have been interesting if that happened, because you would have had a situation where you could have had a different king or queen in different realms. Obviously, we're not connected anymore by law or anything like that, but because they have their own laws, it would have had their own ascension policies because they had their own laws, because they're independent countries. They had their own laws. We as Britain couldn't say to Jamaica, yeah, fuck you, Jamaica, change your laws to have women be able to be queen over a boy. We couldn't do that because we don't control Jamaica anymore. But because of the because their laws are going to be different. So yeah, that was an interesting thing. But they thankfully hashed that all out, and I think all the realms now share the same rules on that. So that isn't an issue anymore. It's also the issue, the Commonwealth itself was led by Queen Elizabeth. And because the Commonwealth, Queen Elizabeth was the first queen or first monarch who led the Commonwealth, because before that, the Empire was still a thing. So there wasn't really any rules of who could become the Commonwealth leader. So there was a concern when the Queen died, who would become the leader. And in the end, it was just decided Charles would just do it because he inherits, because he became the new king, whatever. Let's just let Charles be the king, the leader of the Commonwealth. But that could have gone differently. If some of the other countries, the ones who didn't have Charles as the monarch, like India and all that, said, fuck that, we want to have an election or something, that could have happened. But the Commonwealth isn't really important enough for that to be an issue. So they just basically went along with Charles being the head of the Commonwealth. But in theory, anyone could really become the head of the Commonwealth if they had enough support. So there isn't any sort of process in place to really decide it, other than just you know, it's easy enough just to stick Charles as the leader. You know, whoever the monarch is, whoever leads most of the Commonwealth realms should become the Commonwealth leader. But that'll be an issue in the future when there's less realms in the Commonwealth. Once Australia, New Zealand, and all that get rid of the monarchy, yes, it will become more of an issue. But yeah, it's very fascinating. I love British history. I think British history is very cool. Again, it's very hard to say that because people will create, you know, people are so quick to jump. Oh, you like British history, or you're just a supporter of colonialism. You're a supporter of slavery. No, I fucking hate that Britain had an involvement in slavery. I hate that Britain killed natives in Australia, in New Zealand. Although they did thankfully come to an agreement in New Zealand, which was very good. But in North America as well, you know, and obviously all the shit they did in Africa and India as well. Can't forget India. Yeah, and everywhere. You know what I mean. Like, you know, everywhere we fucked around everywhere. I don't want to single out any one place, but at the same time, Britain's history is very fascinating. It's very cool history. One of the most interesting countries in the world, in my opinion. It's got a fantastic history. England itself and all the previous areas of England, you know, all the build up. England in general has got fantastic. Well, Britain in general has fantastic history. You can go back into, you know, Roman history. You can go back into Celtic history. You can go back to the Neolithic history. But you can also go forward. You can go to the Dark Ages. You can go into the early medieval, into the medieval period, into when it, you know, united into Britain. Then it went into the colonial era. It's fascinating. It's got so much history. Not to say other countries don't have amazing history too, but I think some countries have really fantastic history, and I think like Britain, for example, is a good one. France also has fucking amazing history. French history is fucking awesome. I hate France, don't get me wrong. As a Briton, I hate France. We all hate France, you know. It's fuck the French, you know, it's in our blood. But I love France. I love the history of France. Fucking amazing country. Really cool history. Spain, really fascinating history as well. You know, a lot of these Western European countries have very fascinating history. The Bahamas is also known as Commonwealth of Bahamas. Does that have anything to do with it? No, some places are called Commonwealth. Like, for example, in America, one of the states of America, I think, which state is it in America that's called the Commonwealth? There's a Commonwealth in, is it Delaware? I can't remember. No, state of Delaware, U.S. Commonwealth. Which one is it that's called? Which state in America is this Commonwealth? There's a few actually. Yeah, there's Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Massachusetts, and Kentucky. Those are all Commonwealths. Technically, they're states, but they are also known as Commonwealths, and it's just a name. Commonwealth of Bahamas is just a name of, you know, that's just what they want to call themselves, Commonwealth of Bahamas. But it's not to do with the Commonwealth of Nations, which is what this is. This is why you like China taking over. The West could have made up for the mistakes, but they're too greedy for it. I'll be honest, though, China probably will do way worse. I mean, you know, this is the same country that tracks everyone's movements, gives them a social score, and if you do bad, you're not allowed to travel on your train anymore because you know, you can't travel between cities because you've been a bad boy. That's just disgraceful. And imagine what they could do in the future if they control most of the world. I mean, they are buying up they're basically paying shit tons of money to different countries in Africa to basically control large, vast swaths of land. I mean, I don't even want to imagine what China's going to do in the future. China's probably going to make the rest of us look like fucking toddlers with what they're going to have planned. So, yeah, I don't know about that one, but, you know, it is what it is. Can't really change these things. No, Britain is very interesting. Also, actually, I also want to do another little quick thing before I stop with this, because it's quite fascinating. Where the fuck is it? I need a map. I need a fucking map, but I need a map that includes... this might be okay. This is like a children's geography map, but you know what? At least it includes what I'm trying to talk about. I go Spade just says fuck. I love Spade. Spade doesn't have a clue what we're talking about, but he's just like, fuck. Out of the blue, just fuck. Bro said fuck. Alright, so this is like a children's map, but you get what I mean. So there's a couple of other places in the UK that, or some people don't really understand, but I can't really point to it, but let's say right in the middle. You see right in the middle, you see that island, right? Right in the middle between Ireland and the United Kingdom. That is the Isle of Man. That's not part of the UK. There are, I believe it is a crown. It is under the crown, I believe. But it's not part of the UK. So it's a crown. I think it's a crown. I need to know the correct name for this because they've changed these names. I think it's Crown Dependency. Yeah, Isle of Man. Crown Dependency. So it's under the crown. So King Charles rules it, but it's not part of the UK. That little orange island right in the center. That is not part of the UK. It's very similar to the UK. They have a lot of the same things, but they have their own healthcare system. They have that, which is a little bit different. They rely on the UK for like university, and I think they rely on the UK for serious healthcare issues. But they have their own system. That's it's all them. It's all up to them. They're not part of the UK. But they are under Charles. But people from the Isle of Man, I believe, are allowed to come to the UK. Like British citizens, pretty much. But they have their own rules again. They have their own rules, and I think they have their own passports as well. And I think the same for the two down at the bottom. Guernsey and Jersey, they're right next to France. They have their own. They're a crown dependency. They have their own rules. They have their own laws again. But they're under the King Charles, but they have their own thing. They're not part of the UK, but they are. So if I wanted to move there, I would need to I wouldn't just be able to move there because I'm British. I would need to be able to have a reason to move there. So like I would have to have like a business or something, or make or have some sort of retirement money to move there. I wouldn't just be able to move there. And they also don't have the NHS. They have their own healthcare systems, and you have to pay. So not great. But they're different. Guernsey and Jersey both have their own governments. So, and they are part of what used to be Normandy. So you know how like Normandy. Does anyone know the history of England? The history of England. So, let's just simplify it down to. Does anyone know about Hastings 1066? The Norman invasion of England. Basically, Normandy was a offshoot of the Vikings themselves. The Vikings settled in Normandy, and then they became their own part of like their own country that was connected to France but wasn't France. Nowadays it's France, but it wasn't France back then. And they basically, there was a lot of issues with who was going to become the next king of England, and the king died and there was no one to take over, so it went to Harold Godwinson, and then the leader of Normandy. He didn't like that, and then there was another guy, Harald Hardrada. I can't remember his actual name, but we called him Harald Hardrada, and he was coming from Norway, I believe, to come and to also take the crown. A load of shit happened, and Normandy won. Normandy invaded England. They managed to win. They basically took over England, and so then it was England and Normandy. Normandy was its own thing. The leader of England, he was the king of England, but he was also the leader of Normandy, the Duke of Normandy, and over time, Normandy kind of went back and forth between being French and being English, and eventually Normandy was given up on it. It became French, and we never took it back. But Guernsey and Jersey are both part of that Normandy, that duchy or duchy of Normandy. So they're both, I believe, part of that still, even though the Duchy of Normandy doesn't exist anymore in England. Or the duchy, I think it's duchy, but I don't know. It's the point is, the Duke of Normandy, the Duchy of Normandy, whatever, and they are still technically part of that, even though it doesn't exist anymore, because the Duchy of Normandy is now just part of France. It's just Normandy, part of France. Yeah, William the Conqueror. So if anyone doesn't know who William the Conqueror was, he was the big bastard who basically came to England. To be fair, the Saxons, Anglo-Saxons, under Harold Godwinson, to be fair to him, he did really well. He marched all the way north to fight Harold Hardrada, right? Big man Harold, He basically won there, killed Harold, I'm pretty sure. And then he went all the way back down to the south, and he almost won against the Normans. And he left some of his men, he left some of his allies, because back then you didn't just control like an army, like a professional army like you do now. Back then, armies were usually, basically they were just recruited levies. You just levied people to come and fight for you from different like feudal lord lands. People would go and fight for their feudal lords. So you'd have to have lords on your side. And so he left some of his allies, some of his lords up in the north to protect against another invasion from the Norwegians or whatever. And if he had brought those people down with him, he would have won. And I fully believe he would have won in against William the Conqueror at Hastings. He was robbed. I agree. I completely agree with that. He was robbed. Harold was robbed. He managed to fight 2 battles. He went up north, beat the bloody Norwegians, came back down, and almost beat the bloody Normandy. What would you even call Normans? No, I'm thinking of some fancy Normandians. No, Normans. What am I talking about? Fucking Normandians. And he came down and almost beat the Normans. Fucking, he almost did that. Only because he died. He died, unfortunately, and then that caused a rout. But had he not died, had he had his allies, I think it was. Although whether it was actually true or not, I remember there was some disputing whether that was actually him or not. But either way, he died, and the lore is that he died from an arrow to the eye. But imagine had he brought his allies from the north, because in the end, the Norwegians didn't invade again. The Norwegians left and stayed. They didn't bother trying to reinvade. I don't think so anyway. Not at that point. But had he brought his allies down, if he brought down all his allies from the north, he would have won. He would have had a bigger army than the Normans, and he would have won, and he would have been king of England, and the Saxon line would have continued. I can't remember, but it was basically the line of kings all the way from the King of Wessex, which was a large kingdom in the southwest. Really, really cool. Oh, this is another thing. You started me now. You started me off now. Let me just see if I can find this. Let me put that other map back up. Actually. Yeah, let me put another map back up. The one from earlier, because that one actually showed the things. All right, so get this, yeah. This is something a lot of people don't notice, but it's really cool. If you know the language, you understand it. All right, so look here. All right, you have Middlesex. Middlesex doesn't really exist anymore. It was basically London. It was like the county of where London was, but London's basically just overtaken it. Middlesex doesn't really exist anymore, other than name. There's Middlesex, Essex, Sussex, right? And there used to be a Wessex. So, you're wondering why are there so many sexes in England? Do we just like sex in England? Yes, that's besides the point. It's because sex basically means Saxon, right? So you had Essex, East Saxons. You had Sussex, South Saxons. You had Middlesex, Middle Saxons, although I believe Middlesex was under Essex at one point. And then you had Wessex, which was Berkshire, Wiltshire, Hampshire, I think Somerset and Dorset. I think even at one point it went down to Devon and I think Cornwall at one point. And so that was Wessex. So West Saxons. And Wessex ended up being the kingdom that actually ended up conquering all the rest of England in the end, under various different kings, but like Alfred and all that. But yeah, people might be like, well, Essex, Sussex, why does somebody say that? It's because it was literally Saxon. That's a leftover from of the Saxons. Sussex, South Saxons, Essex and all that. East Anglia, East Anglia is weird, man. Now, East Anglia is an interesting one because it's like it was under like Viking, so Essex kind of was under Saxon, but then like the rest of East Anglia is like Viking at one point. Then there was, I think, Mercia, which was the central parts of West England. But yeah, like a lot of it was under Viking control in the east. Let me see if I can find a map actually of that. Bro, I love this shit. I love talking about the fucking history of England. Sorry to anyone who wanted GTA, but there'll be GTA another day. Sorry, Spade. I know you fucking love GTA, but sorry, mate. There's none today. Spade's probably gonna fucking go mad about this. But oh, where's the fuck's GTA? Oh, fucking GTA. Now, mind you, I'm not the biggest person when it comes to this history. I'm much more colonial history. I love colonial history. That's my main thing. But oh fuck this, I broke that. But bro, this is way too big. This is way too fucking big. I need to transform this. Oh fuck. What the fuck is that? Bro, what is that? That's fucked, bro. That's fucked. Alright, so you have Wessex, which basically, yeah, that was the one that ended up basically conquering everyone else, either through alliances or through whatever. Essex, yeah, at one point Essex had London. I think Wessex took London from Essex eventually. Sussex, South Saxons, yeah, Kent. There was no North Saxons for some reason. I don't know why there was no North Saxons, but there wasn't. So Sussex, yeah, Kent. You had East Anglia, which I believe was Viking of some form. There was Northumberland, which was also Viking. It was like two different Viking groups that had them, and yeah, that's funny. And then there's Mercia, which I believe was also English at the time. And then they kind of just, at one point, they all kind of just, it was just England was split into different parts, and it was very nice, other than Viking raids and all that stuff. And then eventually Wessex managed to come and take it all and form England, the first English king. And you know what's funny? The first king of a united England, I believe, was only like 800 or something like that, mid-800s. The first king of like the united England was only like in the mid-800s, maybe in the early 900s. So it really wasn't that long until the Normans came and basically just said, fuck those guys, we're now in control. Like, I feel quite sad that they never really got a chance to, under the traditional, England, the traditional English Saxons, they never really got a chance to really rule England fully because the Normans came along. And mind you, the Normans had to do all sorts of little things to get them, to get the Saxon lords to agree to them and to work with them. But still, like, it was pretty much Norman at that point. And I feel quite sad that happened because, like, the English kings never really had a chance to really do anything. I don't know. It just feels really sad that that was kind of what happened. I don't know. Also, and this is another. I'm gonna keep going, right? This is another interesting one for anyone. This is very interesting for anyone from Norway or Denmark. Yeah, legit. English history, bro. America's had it. Don't get me wrong. Like, America itself has had history. You go back to like the Native Americans. Some fascinating histories in America. But yeah, as a formed country, America itself, the United States of America, has only had 300 something years of history. Or was it something like that? No, not even 300 yet. No, not even 300 yet. No, that would be 300 in... Would it be 83 this... Yeah, 2083 would be 300 years? Yeah, so it's not even 300 years yet for like the actual United States of America itself as a country. But England, UK, mad history. Mad fucking history. And that's what really... As I said, I can't stand this country, but I love this country at the same time. This is a really weird... You can see through it. At one point, there was a personal union between England, Norway, and Denmark under King. What's his name? Canute. I call him King Cunt because I just read the N in the wrong place, but it's Canute or Knut. I don't know. But then it was like a personal union for like a very short time between England, Denmark, and Norway under the Vikings. And I'm just like, bro, this is mad. Like this is like my dream in Europa Universalis. Like this is what I aim for, having a union between like the North Sea, like the northern, like not having to worry about Norway and Denmark getting in my way with their navies, because Norway and Denmark always piss me off in that game because they're always trying to fuck with my navy. So having like a union between England, Norway, and Denmark, bro, that would be a dream in Europa. Dream. At this point, you want to do it, but yeah, legit. Like if anything, if me talking about this helps people kind of find an interest in British history. I mean, the problem with British history is that it depends on where they focus on it. They might just focus on like the Britain when it formed, when Britain formed. Britain formed in 1707 under the Act of Union. 1707 was the official beginning of Great Britain, which at the time was England. Wales was kind of just part of England at that time. England and Scotland, and then it didn't form into the United Kingdom until 1801 when it formed into when Ireland joined into the Union, and it became the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. For those out there who wonder if you should call it Great Britain or United Kingdom, the correct term should be United Kingdom, because Great Britain is really just the United Kingdom without Northern Ireland. So that should be the correct term. But it doesn't really matter. You can call Great Britain or whatever. Most people just call it Britain. But yes, there's a lot to British history. There's a lot to English history. I mean, English history goes all the way back to the Neolithic period and all that. But from the bits of English history I find fascinating are anything from the Roman era onwards. Although I do find pre-Roman England, British Isles interesting. But I love that England had the Roman Empire in it. That I love it. I love the Roman Empire. I'm a big fan of the Roman Empire. You know how they say like men always think about the Roman Empire at least once a day or some shit. That is 100% true. I think of the Roman Empire at least 3 times a day. I think of the Roman Republic probably about 10 times a day. I fucking love the Romans. And obviously England had a part of that. England was, Roman Britannia. But yeah, Britain itself has a lot of history, and then there's all the history of the individual nations of the UK as well. So Irish history is former British, because obviously Ireland is no longer part of the British Union anymore. But there's a lot of interesting history in Ireland. There's a lot of interesting history in Scotland. Fascinating, lots and lots of cool history in Scotland, because Scotland never got conquered by the Romans, so it's a different history. Wales has got a fascinating history, although Wales just kind of got shoved into being part of England at one point. I mean, we don't talk about that, but yeah, there's some cool things. There's also another cool one for anyone who's not aware of this is the here we go. No, that's fucked. I don't want that one. I need a good map. I need a map that shows it. Yes. And this happened in the late 1100s. Is it true that everyone in Ireland cusses 24/7? Irish people do swear a lot, yes. The British people swear a lot too. I think British and Irish people both swear a shit ton. To be honest with you, Scottish people probably swear more than anyone. This is really cool. The I can never say it right. Angevin. That was it wasn't an official empire, but it was all underneath the king at the time, the ruling family at the time. It was all their possessions, and it's an interesting alternate history where imagine if France got completely dominated by this collection, and it kind of imagine if England and France effectively formed into a union. I've done this in Europa. I've played this game before, this campaign where I took over France through my king basically taking their king and becoming their king, and it's great. It's a fucking awesome alternate history. It's very, very fascinating, but sadly, it never came to be. It died very quickly. It never really became an official thing, but it's part of English history still, in a way. Jacksepticeye said he would not stop cussing his videos or cussing his video because he's Irish. He shouldn't. I mean, he shouldn't stop swearing anyway. Who gives a fuck if someone swears? If YouTube is too scared of it, that's YouTube's problem. That's their own fucking problem. So no, yeah, I'd highly recommend. British history is very, very good, and I highly recommend to anyone who wants to study a very in-depth history. I highly recommend learning British history. It's very, very fascinating. Some people are very against it now because of our connections to the Empire and all that, but whatever. Also, if anyone's interested in other history, learning German history, Holy Roman Empire specifically, yeah. If anyone ever wants to have a really great headache, I'd highly recommend the Holy Roman Empire. Which is that beautiful thing right there. As you can see, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely fucking gorgeous. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend that. Highly recommend that indeed. I love Holy Roman Empire history, but it's fucking crazy. It's nutty. But no, English history is, in my opinion, one of the most interesting in the world. I would highly recommend that. What else is there about British history that's really interesting? What's an interesting part of British history? I wouldn't even... There's so many places. I mean, I guess you could even... As I said, you can go all the way to the Roman era. I mean, it's fucking awesome. You learn about 800 BC empires in world history, but not this. This is more interesting about the British part of it. Honestly, as I said, I genuinely think British history is fascinating for that reason. I mean, you know, then you can... That's the thing, you can specialize in other history too, because you can specialize in the history of like the regions that Britain colonialized. This is the thing, right? Even if you do end up learning American history, a big part of American history is the British Empire and the British 13 colonies. So even if you end up not being able to learn British history and you only learn American history, you will probably learn a bit of British history in that. But British history overall, yeah, you can learn a lot more about the 13 colonies through British history. Because there's obviously that's all of the British, not just the cherry-picked bits that the Americans tend to teach, mostly about how the tea party when the British had their tea dumped in the harbour because the British were so evil, even though the really rich American leaders at the time just didn't like paying, they didn't like the idea of having to pay taxes for the protection of their regions. And they like to. They were also trying to sell tea of some form, I believe. They had their own sources, and yeah, the British were kind of impeding on that, so they kind of dumped all the British tea instead to help themselves. Yeah, no, they don't really talk about that side of it. They only talk about the American side of it. But I suppose every history does that, right? All the history does that. Every country has a bias and teaches their side of history more than others. So. Of course, Although saying that in the UK, we don't really teach British history much in the UK. We're very adverse to that in the UK. We see, the thing is, in American history is very proud. Americans taught very much about the history and all this and all that. Still to this day, you have American flags and American holidays, all this stuff. Britain doesn't really have that. We don't really have British. Our schools don't really teach it. I was never really taught big British history. I was never taught about the Empire. I had to learn all that myself. I was taught the Roman part of Britain, but that was about very when I was very young. I was taught about Neolithic Britain. I was taught about the Renaissance era, or roughly the late medieval the late medieval period / Renaissance. I was taught World War One a little bit, and Britain's involvement in World War II. That and primarily at that point German history. So I didn't get taught a lot about British history when I was at school. It really was not a big thing. We don't really. I don't know whether it's like that now, but when I was at school, we were very kind of I think we were just kind of embarrassed of our history. I think we were kind of embarrassed about our history, about because of that, because of our empire and that. So we didn't really get taught it as much. But it's a fascinating history anyway, and you could spend years just learning one small part of British history. And obviously, the best thing about history class is that history class is a lot more than just learning about the history. It's also about learning about the reasons behind things. Just like, oh, this happened, but also why it happened, and reviewing sources. A big part of history is reviewing sources and then being able to, it's about understanding and kind of picking what's important piece of data, understanding bias and stuff like that in sources, and also there's a lot to it. There's a lot more to history than just learning about the actual what happened, the facts of what happened. But I think British history in general is just very exciting. But as I say, it could take years to just learn even a small portion of it. And hell, even just since the end of the empire, it's huge. There's so much history, even just since the 50s. You could be learning it for, as I said, decades. I mean, yeah. So, but I'm glad if it's helped you, if anyone else as well, if it's helped anyone else kind of have find an interest in British history. I'm sorry for anyone who came here for GTA and I just went on a tangent. I said people wanted to know about it, and I did say I was going to teach you a little bit, or at least explain it. I'm always as I said, I always talk about British history if I'm asked or if it comes up. So yeah, there'll always be more time for GTA. GTA is not going anywhere, so I'll play. I'll have time for that another day. But no, for anyone, as I'm just happy that if it helps people find an interest in it. And of course, what I've said is not the 100. I know I'm not 100% on everything. I don't know all the dates. I don't know all the finer details. I've never had the chance to really study any particular part of British history in depth, especially not to like a university level. This is all just a very light sprinkling of history and a general kind of what happened. The general timings and all that. Like I said, there's a lot more to it, a lot more in depth. You could go into British military history. That shit is crazy. Military history as well is huge in Britain. So that, again, there's a lot more detail to it. But if it gave anyone an interest in just starting it or having a look at it, yeah, I'm glad, because it is a very cool country. As I said, I hate the UK, but I love the UK. I what can I say? I love the UK and I hate it. But I always love it. It is my country, and I am proud of its history for the most part. For the most part. The bits of the history where it didn't enslave other people. That I'm very proud of that part of the history. I'm very proud of the more older history, pre-colonial era. But even then, I suppose, England England had some bits that it did. Poor Wales, for example. Poor Wales got kind of made into a princedom. Even not even that. Not even like a proper kingdom at that point. It was just kind of put into England. Scotland, I'm not so, I know I'm not going to be too apologetic to Scotland, because Scotland did kind of bankrupt themselves and then need a bailout, part of which was joining England in the Union. And, it's kind of Scotland's fault as well as England, I hate when people say England, took over Scotland. Yeah, well, you know what, Scotland, maybe you should spend your money better and stop being, maybe if you didn't bankrupt yourself, maybe you wouldn't need to join in the Union with England. But then I'm sure some Scottish historians would say, well, it was only because England sabotaged Scotland's attempts to colonialise the New World and cost them a lot of money, and then gave them shitty loans or whatever bullshit they'll come up with. So again, history is very much biased towards the people who are writing it, and typically the people who write history are the victors, but sometimes, nowadays you can write history, people can research and write books and, research papers on a lot of things that, to kind of counteract it. I suppose that's the beautiful thing about history, is that there's no 100% facts, because everything is some sort of bias. History is written by the victor generally, so there is some level of bias in it. There is some level of interpretation to it. So I don't know, but all I'm gonna say is Britain's pretty cool. Britain's pretty cool, as much as I've shown it. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna call it. It's 1:10. I'm trying to get some good sleep now these days, so I should probably go to sleep. Tomorrow I'm gonna be probably off. I might play a little bit of something when I come home because I'm gonna be seeing Rebecca tomorrow in the evening, so I probably won't be on. If I am on, it'll be late. I might, you know what? I'm kind of feeling Fortnite, so maybe I'll do Fortnite tomorrow, or if not, I'll do Fortnite on Friday maybe. Yeah, you know what? I've been feeling like I've not played Fortnite in a about a week or so. So yeah, you know what? If I could get a Fortnite night going with Joe and you know, maybe Joe's on or maybe Dean's on, yeah, that'll be fun. Maybe Spade if Spade's up for it. Yeah. So we'll see. But maybe Fortnite on Friday. Maybe I'll do a bit of GTA, then Fortnite. I don't know. We'll see. But tomorrow anyway, maybe not. And Friday, yeah. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Oh yeah. Thank you for reminding me. For anyway, if I don't do a stream tomorrow, to any Americans out there, have a happy Thanksgiving. We don't celebrate Thanksgiving in the UK. You know, the whole idea behind Thanksgiving doesn't really make sense in the UK because of the history. You know, we had nothing. You know, we weren't really having thanks to give because of, you know, a bountiful harvest when we lived in a country where, you know, we didn't have the issues like that. Although we do have like a harvest festival. It's not very big anymore. But yeah, so any Americans out there, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoy. Hope you enjoy your turkeys if you have turkeys, chickens if you have chickens, beef. Who knows? I don't know what you Americans have sometimes. You know, if you have it. Yeah, Canada has it a little bit earlier than America, I believe. I think they have it in October. And again, it's probably very much the same idea. You know, thanks for having food, but it's just a little bit earlier in the year. Probably because I can't say for sure, but I guess it I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know why Canada has it earlier, but yeah, whatever. Canada has it earlier, but yeah, any Americans have it tomorrow. Enjoy your turkeys. Enjoy whatever you eat. Enjoy, you know, the family if you have family. I know it's like the start of the Christmas holidays in a way. You know, lots of people consider that the beginning of the holiday period. So, you know, have a nice time with that. And yeah, if I'm on tomorrow, then I'll say it then as well. But if not, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, take care, everyone. God bless. Let's have thanks. Let's have the whole world. Let's all have thanks for our lives. Right. Take care. Bye.